It says you're live now. There's a 1 to 2 minute delay. Yeah. No audio? Gosh darn it. I hate OBS, by the way.
Good.
Let's try this again.
FC Construct's on.
That's carrot. Oh,
Round 3, round 2, round 4.
oh, now we got it.
Sound working?
Yep.
Sweet.
All right.
The trick for OBS is even if you think you got it right, you still need to restart it again.
Yeah.
This is a true story.
Software and magic. Well, I think we need a real producer. But well, let's start. Welcome to Audio Discourse Happy Hour. If you haven't catch our first episode, you should go watch me and Tyler drink. But with me is my co-host, Anthony. How are you doing today, Anthony? What are you drinking?
I am drinking for relaxing times. I think Centauri time.
Centauri time? You want to show us the bottle? There you go. Ooh, that's pretty nice.
Proof.
Yeah, you got to prove it, man. And with my other drinking buddy that I usually have is Tyler. What are you drinking today, Tyler?
Oh yeah.
I never had that before. Oh, there you go.
Now we dance.
And I have a special guest with us. Well, actually, Tyler is also the special guest because he recently got a promotion. But the special guest is Taron from Headphones.com.
How's it going, guys?
Today,
I'm drinking some Klein Elish 1995.
Oh, there you go.
The fancy
Everybody's drinking whiskey today. For me, I'm having a highball right now. But after I finish this, I'll probably go on to probably either some my favorite all-time favorite Nick Offerman's. Yeah. Or I got something different. I got some Redbreast. I haven't opened these, so yeah.
The butter
I'll do one of
whiskey.
those. Yeah. So I know that Tyler recently got a promotion. Well, not a promotion, but you usually did it for fun before. Now you got an official title at Headphones.com, right?
Yeah, more. Yeah, I think I'm helping them with some of the community stuff and content stuff. So it's pretty fun. It's these guys are awesome. The Brotherhood of Headphones.com.
Yeah. So what do you do now? Just like are you like a community manager?
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of community project management type stuff. I'm helping with some of the hopefully the new tours and that kind of thing. We have a kind of a private tour going now to kind of test it out.
Yeah.
And
I'm probably going to ask you that a little bit later.
Yeah, so that's kind of and once that we get that kind of finalized and pinned down, it'll help with how we move forward with that kind of like getting products out to the community and that kind of thing. Then also I'm doing more of just constantly doing the wonderful mod and admin stuff on the forum and
yeah, the housekeeping, right?
Yeah, and then and just helping take pictures and that kind of stuff and I'm probably not going to do reviews like Resolve or Chrono or anything like that, but I'll be more than happy to jump in and do like my impressions. I guess I'm just not wanting to call them reviews, but
I mean, I feel like you're definitely more the casual side of things when it comes. Yeah, I mean, not to say that's a bad thing, but it's kind of nice, not to take it so seriously sometimes.
Exactly. I think it's more of the hobbyist part of it, truly.
Yeah, definitely. And we have the more handsome of the two brothers, and I don't just say that because he promised me a free ADX5K after the show if I'm nice to him. I don't know if you can, well, obviously you're one half of Headphones.com, one half of the brother. So what do you do? What's your half, Taron?
Everything that Andrew doesn't do is my half.
Well, yes, but
so right now, I do customer service, shipping, fulfillment, purchasing, website design, all the stuff that doesn't directly relate to growing the business, aside from reaching out to brands. That's where I fall under. For the last 3.5 to 4 years, I've been the only one doing customer service. So we finally started doing customer service training last week for somebody, and it'll be very exciting to pass that along to somebody else.
You excited to pass on the blame? So if you bought something and being unhappy with headphones.com for the past 3 or 4 years, it's pretty much your fault, right? You have to deal with that.
Exactly. It's my fault.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, just to clarify, the three of Anthony, and obviously you guys are headphones.com, and Anthony kind of work really closely with kind of like the non-pay reviewers of headphones.com, the free labor.
I mean, if Anthony wasn't Bezos' #1 man, we would pay him, but I don't think we can pay him as much as Bezos. So
I mean, you just gotta get big enough so you can match his salary, man. I think that's the only way you can dig him out of the big V. But
exactly.
you know, just to clarify, I never bought anything from you guys, nor do I. And you guys, like, you know, I really don't have any connection. I'm not really on the forums, just because I try to keep out of those places for now, like for probably forever. It's not. I don't think it's healthy.
Not your thing.
Just no, makes me an unhappy person. But you know, Taron, you got into a little bit of a hot water lately with Reddit. It's kind of.
What's normal that Reddit?
Yeah.
I do want to clarify. I do want to clarify that is not Andrew on the screen there.
Yeah.
Nor
am I Andrew. I'm not Andrew.
Well,
That's not Andrew.
I actually booked
this is
people.
Andrew, and this is Andrew.
Yeah. I actually booked the 2 people that's not named Andrew. I think, are you guys the only 2 people who are not Andrew that's from headphones.com? That's the more pressing question I have here.
We've got another guy named Paul who is in the background. He's our finance guy. So that's another non-Andrew, but he doesn't do anything audio related. So he's strictly on the money side.
His nickname is Andrew, though.
Yeah.
Paul Andrew. Yeah.
I thought it's like a legally binding thing. You have to be named Andrew to work at headphones.com.
Or any.
I did have
business, really.
Yeah, I did have to change my Slack name for a little bit to Andrew the Third. So.
Yeah. But no, back on the Reddit thing. Jeez, that was a little bit of a. What happened there? Yeah, what happened there?
That was just a customer service breakdown there. Since March, our business has tripled because of COVID, and our customer service team has remained the same. So,
AKA Taron.
Yeah. So I mean, between doing all the manual fulfillment, customer service, and everything, there's been 99% of people that are happy, but you know, when one person slips through the cracks, sometimes you get an online post because people post online when they're unhappy, not when they're happy. So it's but that was our fault, and it seems to be taken care of now. So it happens, and then the thread kind of devolved from there into a bunch of different things that weren't really about the original post anymore. So
such as Reddit, I really I like it for the drama, but I feel like have you ever worked I think people that complains a lot have never worked a customer service job. And,
I was a flight attendant for 5 years before doing this, so I'd say that the airline community is very similar to headphones in that regard. Although people with headphones are generally a lot better. So it's yeah. Yeah, we're working on a plane where you can't get away from anybody. It's quite different. But when you're a public company and a public figure, you are gonna get posts about you regardless. So it's just the fact of life that we've been dealt. So
Yeah. So happily, I don't think you're gonna be doing this any longer. Well, maybe not as much since you guys got somebody else to take the blame. More
yeah, I mean
more
it'll
customer service.
it'll take a little while to transition the role,
Okay.
and then there should probably be one or two more people doing it as well.
Oh yeah, headphones.com is now hiring a customer service. If you want to intentionally mess up one of their orders, you know what? I wish I can order something from you guys and have you fuck it up for me on purpose so I can get a nice discount. So and don't. I mean, it's just like human error. I wish that I wish that everybody thinks that you're a robot and never messes up. But people make mistakes, and it's just that it's the same customer service job everywhere. That you don't really people don't tell you people only complain that's if you're doing a good job, obviously that's what you're supposed to do. Duh, you're supposed to do your job right. If you treat them like extra well, you're supposed to do that. Like if you fucked up, you're like, oh, I want you fired. But you know what? Whatever. I mean, it's your fault, but you messed up, and I'm sure everything's better now. So yeah, can't wait for you to mess up my order so I can get the free headphones.
You'd have to actually place an order with us.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a little bit. I don't know, man. Headphones.com is a great company. I'm not sure about the headphones.ca. I think those people are shady as fuck, man. Those Canadians.
The Shadow Corp headphones.
Not about that. The other side of your business. Tell me about what's with you trying to disguise as an American company when you're actually Canadian?
So we're a fully American company, and we do have American employees in the U.S. The U.S. happens to have 350 million people, and Canada has 40 million people. So the market size is very, very different. And selling headphones in Canada and in the U.S. is a very different experience as well. Canada actually tends to buy speakers more than they do headphones.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys still doing the premium sound, or is that what it's called?
That's on hiatus, right? COVID kind of changed a lot for us. There's so many supply chain issues right now that getting stock of anything is pretty difficult. So right now, just the US side is running at 100%. Just because there are some brands that we haven't been able to get stock of for 3.5 months. And so when we do get that stock, it's in stock for 5 days and then it's gone and we got another 2 months to wait. So we'd love to keep it all going, but we are most likely going to start doing Focal and head studio monitors here in the fall. So
Ooh, breaking into the pro audio game, I see.
Yeah, breaking into it a little bit. I don't think that we'll do tower speakers just because they're very expensive to ship, and generally custom install is the way to go with them. But studio monitors are kind of right in line with headphones.
Yeah, that's is that like a project for the future, like a distant future, or is that just you're about to, like you said something about getting SoCal in like a few months back? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's something that's always in the works. It's more so when we have time to get it up and running. We don't really like to half-ass anything. So if we can't commit 100% to it, we don't want to do it early.
And I'm actually looking into getting speakers myself. So are you just going to carry like Head and Focal, just like the brand that you guys already have, or are you guys actually? Obviously, you guys have Sennheiser, and Sennheiser own Neumann, right?
Yeah. So Focal and Head would be the ones to start, and then from there, behind the scenes, there's a lot of convincing that you have to do as a store to get a brand to agree to let you sell their product. So Usually having a starting point like with Vocal and Head, it's a good area to start and show them that you can actually sell their product, just because in the last 10 years or so online, there's a lot of people who just started stores from their garage to get discounts on gear, and then they offload it at 5% above their costs kind of thing. And so building up that online reputation is something that needs to be cycled through again.
Yeah, definitely. And Tyler, going to Tyler, and you mentioned that before, that you are now in charge of this
Charge is
loaner
a strong
program.
word.
Sorry, you're now, what's the word? What's the word?
You could say lead-in.
So I guess I'm helping assist, lead, and or manage that. So what's the big question regarding like
The big question is like,
future...
when am I going to see an Odin demo in front of my house? That's actually, no, I'm kidding. That actually tell me about the, like, I've always said that, I'm kind of interested in your loaner program, but that involves that requires community involvement, which I am not a big fan of. But tell me about the project.
So originally the project was put together by the now retired editor and all that fun stuff, who did it, who helped start it up with Taron and Andrew. And that one was good. But it was just, I think, it was just too much and not enough participation. And then on top of that, there was too much gear going out, and then trying to keep track of all that stuff, and then shipping and cost for that. So I was trying to figure out how to make it an actual it needs to have benefit across the board, right? So you're getting people to hear things from that they wouldn't normally be able to hear per se, or maybe it gives them the opportunity to hear something that they will now push them to that next stage. Like, okay, yeah, this is what I want to buy, that kind of thing. But it also needs to be kind of a lower risk, because that's expensive gear potentially that's going out to these people on a forum, like, which are names that you might not necessarily know. So that's a kind of, how do you weigh that risk reward type of deal, right? Because you're getting the information out. So what we're doing is we're requiring a certain level of engagement in the community. So you need to reach a certain tier level in the forum, and then
you gotta
once
have
you get
clout
that,
on a headphones.com forum.
I mean, at least like interaction. You need to be, and then you be willing to write a quick impression. It doesn't have to be huge. Just needs to be like, hey, I got these in, and do a quick. Just your thoughts on it. It doesn't have to be professional. Doesn't have to be anything. Just your thoughts on what it is. It just needs to be not one sentence. These are good.
So you're saying I have to write a show review on the
not
product?
Even a show review, like a paragraph. No? Like just do a standard paragraph or more. Just
no
your experience, that kind of stuff.
You can even say that it sucks too.
Yeah, you can say it sucks. It doesn't. Yeah, it's just your impression.
It
doesn't.
So Rush is really good at that.
I mean, I think your camera's running out of battery. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I told you it's having issues.
Danger Robinson.
Keep going.
But yeah, so then once that's established, and then also if you want, throw some cell phone pictures. If you got cell phones, or if you got a nice camera, throw a couple pictures up of that. Pictures aren't required, but it definitely needs to be a thing where you're willing to put at least some effort into writing up a quick impression or thought process on your experience with the product, that kind of thing. So currently it's going through a more dedicated group of people that have been cleared all the way up through to the higher levels of the forum.
Right, just the old-timer members.
Yeah,
right?
or just people that are really engaged in the community, and then you vetted that through that and went that route. So, in fact, the first person to get him was Mr. Photography, the current little private demo tour type deal. And we did the Utopias. So the Utopias went out to Mr. Photography, so he'll have a really cool video there soon. And then from there, they're going to the next couple. There's like 10 members that are getting them. And then we're doing like a 7-day period roughly. Obviously, depending on people's situations and stuff, it can be more flexible, but so we'll have about 10 to 11 people that will get them, and it'll be like 7 days more or less that you'll be getting them in for yourself to try and experience. And then another thing we're working on is how to do the shipping where it's not this huge load on the headphones.com's, like that's a lot of money that's going dumping out. So we're trying to piece that together and figure out a good optimal way of doing that.
I mean, if you want to try something that's $4,000, you should be able to pay $40 yourself out of your pocket to ship it to the next person. I would sure fucking hope so.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Like, and so it just
Yeah.
make sure people are accountable that way too. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just kind of seeing where this goes and how it fits, and then eventually what we're thinking is instead of having like a big list that people can choose from, it will be a set like gear depending on like a tier kind of thing, like a tier 1 through 3, and depending on what gear you personally have. Could affect that level too, but I think more or less just gonna be a couple of items at a time that will be going kind of circulating around. So,
are you saying if I have my HD 600, I don't get to try the Focal Utopia because my gears are pleb?
Well, no, it'd be more along the lines if you were wanting to try a headphone, for instance, or let's say a what's really like something really hard to drive, and you have a JDS Labs Atom. Not that it's a bad amp, but it might not have the power to drive.
Are you gear shaming about that?
Yeah,
Is this
the next
Reddit drama that Headphones.com is gear shaming that their most popular amp?
Yeah, but like, yeah, right. No, more along the lines of just like, if you need something that has needs power, like to properly hear what it can do. I mean,
yeah.
That's more or less more about it than gear shape.
I mean, if you want to
GPUs.
try, if you want to try the headphone with the iPhone dongle, that's up to you. I know it's the best dongle out there, and no need for anything else. But
I mean,
I'm gonna try that next week.
I think
I get the headphone next
I think
week.
you definitely you need like a better amp for some of the more expensive headphones out there. But at the same time, I think
not all of them, but yeah.
I mean,
like
to
planners.
drive, I think to Utopias are actually quite easy to drive.
Yeah,
funny enough,
Focals, all the Focals are pretty easy.
And funny enough, like in order, like I think to drive to like not to like put too much math, like I think to drive a Utopia to 85% efficiency, it actually sounds a lot better than most headphones on the market. An awful headphone, by the way. I fucking hate Utopia. So boring. Worse.
I'm on the same page. I think they're great headphones. They're just boring.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy them. Not because I'm poor. I wouldn't mind a free one though, Taron. So is that just on the closed beta thing right now?
Right now. Then once we get through it, we get an idea of like how it's going to progress and how well that goes moving forward. We'll have a discussion afterwards, and we're probably even halfway through this tour maybe, and see how it's going. Kind of check in, and then determine what the next piece of gear or two will be, and then we can start kind of opening up to see what the next actual real run will look like, kind of deal.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, oh, there you go. Here goes his camera.
I'll be back.
You'll be back, and then I'll be in position. But like, is that how long has that been a thing at Headphones.com, Taron? Like the community demo program thingy.
We started it up within a couple months on the forum, just with a bit of gear, because the preview program was completely through me and Andrew. That's all our retail gear that we have listed there. So at any point we had 20 to 30K of gear there, and maybe 3 people that were using the program. And I think some of the program requirements weren't super clear, and we had people like Anthony, people like Torque, people like Tyler, people like Resolve that were using it, and they were writing really in-depth reviews, and I think that intimidated people because they thought they had to do the same thing, when really they just had to write a little paragraph being like, hey, they sound good, comfort's good, blah, blah, blah. And then the other part of it is I was the one that was doing all the shipping and logistics for that. So on top of running the on top of running all the...
Mostly to the US, right?
Yeah. So on top of running our multiple stores for actual customers, we were doing it for the forum as well. And so I'd have people from the forum sending me live chat messages for the community preview program, which wasn't what we wanted at all, because that's not a good use of customer service time, right? And so this revamp should, one, we won't have as much gear available all the time, but the gear will be more desirable. So we used to have a bunch of stuff like Audio Quest, Nighthawk, and Night Owls, all the Final Audio stuff, all that stuff that people weren't really dying to get. And this way, with a more concentrated learner program, we could send out an Odin, we could send out a Utopia, we can send out a Shangri-La Junior down the line kind of thing. And I also
you just made Ant really, really excited. You can't. That's why his camera
Shangri-La?
died.
I hear Shangri-La.
I heard a desk thump. What happened? What? Are you okay, Ant?
It's not a. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, we have this like blind buying culture in the States. So in North America, because there isn't really like unless you live near like a place with a physical store, there's really like a lack of demo. And even if you're next to like
physical stores have like the gear though.
Yeah, right. Like even if you live next to a store, most what they carry is like probably like Sennheisers and not even their top end models, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good program, but like I mean, like, why have it? That's my question to you. Like, because the blind buying is such a culture.
We've got it for our community. We want to give back to the community because Andrew and I were involved with audio when we were younger, and we used to walk into audio stores. It's part of the reason we started the business. We walked into a store in Vancouver, and when we walked in, there were 3 white guys in suits that were 65 or older. And they didn't even look at us, and then we couldn't even demo any headphones in that store. So it was probably one of the crappiest experiences in store that I had. And so we've got a community that's very passionate about audio and also live in remote places where they can't try out gear. So why not give them the chance to try out gear as long as we open up. Most of the stuff that we do for reviews is retail gear that we open up for reviewers. It's not demo gear being sent to us by the manufacturers because we don't have a brick and mortar store. There's only 2 or 3 brands that actually send us demo gear. The rest is just retail gear that we paid for and sent out to our reviewers. So we may as well send that out to our community as well.
Yeah, and I think it pays to be involved in the headphones.com community. But is it good for business? I asked you that. I don't know if you can tell me. I
don't think it has any effect on our business.
I mean, is it? So it's not good for business. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't think it's negative or positive. I mean, it probably helps our business because we get talked about more, right? But I mean, in terms of people,
and turn around and buy them immediately.
I mean, we have had people that we've sent review gear to that has bought it, but I mean, the nature of forums and HeadFi and those kind of places is that generally the people on those places are looking to buy used gear for fairly cheap. They aren't looking to buy new. So
yeah, I like how you said that because you told me you told me a funny statistic. You want to share that with the public?
Oh, the statistic for people looking for deals.
Yeah. Or just the people that get involved in the forum versus people who are the majority of your customers.
Yeah. So I mean, the majority of people that are buying flagship gear aren't actually. I mean, there are some that are heavily involved in the headphone community, but a lot of them are just guys who have some extra money and want the best possible sound without diving into those forums. And so those guys are perfectly content with what you got. The people who are fishing for deals, doing a ton of research, are most likely either going to buy used or return down the line and get something else just because that's the nature of this hobby. Especially because there's so many options out there that the FOMO of there might be a better headphone than what you already have is very high in this hobby.
Yeah,
especially in the IEM space.
Yeah, we'll probably get to that. And so what you're telling me that you know, so it's not really like a business thing. So from what I hear, like this like obviously the people that wants the demo, that cares the demo and ask you for it, are the people who are probably not going to pay like new prices. They're probably just gonna go dig around the used market and find one used, and then probably sell it. Like that's how this hobby is.
And I want to kind of touch on a little bit too regarding like the. I mean, this is my perspective on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Taron. But like in my opinion, like it's less about like the business aspect and less about it's more about just being a community and being able to provide to that community the opportunity to hear things they might not otherwise be able to hear. And like Karen was saying earlier, giving back to the community. It's
giving back to the community who's not want to buy the gear new.
Well, I mean, but at the same time though, it's a group of people that are wanting to chat and they're engaged, and it's and having a good engaged community is always a good thing in my opinion. And then if you can keep it as little toxicity as possible going on,
no,
then it creates a nice like place where people can go chat and talk and like he's back. Shh. But it just it makes it makes it more engaging with the community when you have that same community now hearing the same things that other people have, and it creates communication, it creates discussion, it creates back and forth with people that now have heard that same thing, and they can go, well, this is my experience, and people can grow from there, right? Like that's a big part of what that kind of engagement fosters and creates, and it helps keep everyone engaged and learning and moving forward in the hobby, right? So
but like I jeez.
So is it good for the business? Probably yes and no, like Taron was saying. Like on one side,
yes
people are being able to hear these things and see it, and so you're getting more word of mouth out. But at the same time, it's also a very expensive piece of gear that they're paying for and sending out, and it's it's not a demo unit per se. So I think
let's just say I don't see you doing that Sennheiser H820 tour anytime soon, because that's probably bad for business.
Well, I mean,
that could just be a good experience, right?
If enough people sign up for it, then we can send out an HDA20, But we've had tours set up where only 2 people want it, and then at that point, it's like, okay, let's do a different piece of gear where we can get more people involved in it, right? But I mean, from the business standpoint, even when we review gear, like when Resolve does a review or whoever does a review, a lot of the time headphones.com doesn't get mentioned, right? It's pretty much a review for the brand, and so a lot of the community stuff, a lot of that stuff directly benefits the brands more than it benefits us, and that's okay with us, because as long as our community gets to experience that high-end gear, because there are so many people out there that will never listen to Utopia that want to listen to Utopia, or so many people that want an Andromeda that will never listen to an Andromeda. And if they have a chance to, like we had a guy on our forum winning Andromeda from one of our contests, and I don't think that he was ever going to buy one. And who knows?
And
maybe he sold it off. Maybe he bought a different pair of IEMs. But we just did that Focal clear arch giveaway as well. And,
I'm sad that you didn't rig that. You didn't rig that giveaway to give it to me. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Happy about that stuff.
Yeah.
I was told to sell those.
That ended up going to a guy that I think he had a pair of Sundaras. So now he's got a clear plus an arch. And
yeah,
nice
that's the kind of stuff that we love to do.
I mean, that's it's definitely more of a community focused program, but
I think that they said it really good in one. In fact, that post you're talking about earlier, the one of the Andrews, aka the best Andrew, mentioned it in that Reddit post where it's like, and it's something we talk about a lot. It's the store is there to drive the community, not the community to drive the store, right? Like, so that's the way to think of it too, right? It's
not just marketing talk.
Well, sure, but at the same time, it's proof is in the pudding kind of deal, right? And then I've yet to see them.
Or you can use you don't want to know how the hot dog is made.
Hot dogs are delicious. You don't ruin it for me, Rush. Do not ruin hot.
This is the last interview I will have with Taron, by the way. So that's like I doesn't like put past me to not call you out and give you shit on things. So
And I'm not like this is just my opinion too. Like I just think that's my viewpoint of it. From like I came into the forum as from Reddit actually. It was brought. Came in as an invite from. I love all the tacos. I think is what he's not really too prevalent in the communities too much lately. I think he's been really busy with work, life, all that fun stuff. But and that was years ago. And then it just seemed like such a nicer place to be. And then I just grew from there. And then getting to meet everybody. Oh yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, you go to Reddit, you go to some of the Discords, you go to the freaking. It's like it's so toxic, man. They just get so.
That's a call out. Here's your second Reddit drama. Not even 30 minutes in, 2 Reddit dramas already. Wow. This guy, you sure you want him to be your community manager when he like just shit on Reddit the entire time? Like, first their favorite amp and now how calling Reddit our headphones toxic.
I love JDS, man. Like, that's my all-time favorite company.
Good save.
He did defend JDS on Headfi.
I did, against Max settings, or the vocal guys too.
Oh dang! Now you call out a reviewer.
I know, right?
Yeah, none of those. But I mean, though, I think every like social media group, I want to call it, like they have their own like culture. Let's just say, like be it on Reddit, on headphones.com or on Headfi or like Discord, even like audio Discord groups. It like they have their own like version of what's good, and I think it's kind of hard to like break into those groups. But what's the statistic now? In Taron, with you were saying that how like headphones.com forms like what the third biggest or the second? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the third biggest after Headfi and SBAF. So.
And SBAF is their own thing of a special place that they love.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Headfi, our forum, SBAF, they haven't changed much over time. The only one that really changes every couple months is Reddit, just because you'll move from 6xx posts. 3 years ago when I was on Reddit, it was all about the 6xx and shit stacks. And then ASR came along and destroyed shit for a year. So anybody that had a shit stack got downvoted on Reddit. And then it moved over when the Chi-Fi IAMs were really flavor of the month there. KZ, TnT2s switched over there for a couple months. But every couple of months, Reddit kind of cycles through. They cycle through an ASR phase. They cycle through a drop phase. They cycle through a subjectivist phase. And so it really depends on what time you're looking at Reddit for what's the most popular thing there.
I think the correct move is just not look at Reddit. Aside, if you want to get into the drama, I think I'm at a point that I only go on the forums to read the drama and just to like taste their salty tears. And it's only obviously I got a good laugh out of your blunder, Taron, which was a good 30 minutes of enjoyment reading how much people will never buy from headphones.com ever again.
But if you think about it, like even that post was actually when you looked at it though, the amount of community that came out for even that, right, was pretty overwhelmingly positive for the headphones guys, right? So I think that was a really good telling sign of what really happened. But
how much are you paying for me to show headphones.com on Reddit again, Taron? I can't wait for my monthly check to Twitter. I'm sure you're paying those Reddit show accounts to talk good about your headphones, right?
Yeah, each one gets an HD 20. So.
Oh, wow. Man, sign me up. Definitely not the worst closed back headphone ever made, by the way. The worst actually goes to the Focal Stellia. I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
Stellia's passable for $3,000, I think. But I mean, yeah, past the Reddit. I think they definitely go through like a phase, and I like how you calling out Reddit for the third time. So now we have that third drama. I'm sure you're not getting any fans from over that platform. But is it any like? Is it difficult to stock all the like flavor and month shit for headphones.com? Like, do you try? Do you even try?
I mean, like on the forum or on the store?
On the store. I don't care about the forum.
No.
Just.
I mean, we don't really carry a whole lot of flavor of the month stuff. It's just like we have started to get a little bit into top end and Moondrop and that kind of stuff. But I mean,
how are those, by the way? How are you can't tell me numbers. How are they selling, by the way? How's your Tri-Fi venture going for you?
I mean, it's we can't complain about it. We still haven't.
Okay, just to clarify, that's the marketing speak for we're doing really bad. We should have never carried Tri-Fi to begin with. They're fucking garbage. So keep going.
No, it's good. I mean, the Blessin 2, obviously they have those driver issues right now, so it's been a little more difficult to get.
Say that. You're not supposed to say that.
Well, I mean that's all public knowledge there that they're
but
limited. So they've just been hard to get in stock. But I mean, like everything else has been fine, and we've been doing iBasso for 6-7 months now, and
giant. iBasso's like campfire. Well, not
Are you guys gonna carry
like,
the iBasso headphone?
The SR2.
Oh,
Yeah.
we do have one. We do have one on order when it comes to North America.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. iBasso is very good headphones to carry. They definitely make quality stuff. It's just like,
Actually, Resolve has their IT00 right now, the $79 headphone, and he said it's pretty hard to complain about anything for there. So he's doing another Tri-Fi shootout in a week or so.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good. People have been pretty happy with it on Headfi.
Yeah. And I mean, at the same time, it's really hard to complain about a $79 headphone unless it's absolute garbage. So. Is that the AM05 right there?
The IT01S.
That's the refresh version that costs $200.
Yeah, that is.
I like the packaging, and they're really pretty.
Is that the only good thing you can say about it?
I haven't listened to them yet, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, it's all right.
I did listen to the Final Audio A8000 though, and I don't know anything about those. I'm not a big IAM guy, so I can't really say too much about it. But Taron could probably attest to my comments though in the private messaging thing. And Anthony too. I was like, wow. I was like, my first 2 songs I listened to, I was like, oh, these are actually pretty good. I'm really digging on these. And then both Ant and one of the Andrews was like, really? Like, you what? Like, why do you like that? And then I was like, yeah, I'm really digging on them. And then all of a sudden, the next 4 tracks were treble murder for me, and I then quickly retracted my previous statements. They're still pretty interesting. I like them, but they're just they're very pretty too. Like, holy smokes, they're really nice looking, and the cable's really nice. But they definitely have some interesting peaks and stuff that I was not aware of.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet, but definitely interested. You should try the Luna too. That's like the competitor that came out at the same exact time.
Oh god, not about the Luna. Like so you guys don't carry too much on the Tri-Fi front. I gave a quick browse on your site.
It's hard to carry the Asian IM brands because it's really hard to get a hold of anybody to actually carry their products. And then there are generally 2 guys who bring them into the US, so you get distribution through them instead. And it's a lot better to work with a brand directly than through distribution. So that's why this year we were planning to go to the Asian shows, the Can Jams and everything. And then COVID happened and everything got canceled. So because there's a lot of really good IEMs from over there. Like we'd like to carry High Edition, like to carry a couple of those brands, and it's just really hard to get any of that going right now.
I mean, it sounds like you need to hire an Asian guy. That's what I'm hearing. But it's kind of it's definitely kind of hard to to talk to the Chinese. I think. Have you tried? Is it like I'm sure like Moondrop, like obviously their CEO is pretty like involved in the community. Like he has his own Discord channel. So and he speaks a little bit of English. But like I think
Moondrop has North American distribution through a different company. So when I reached out to them, I actually reached out to them on Facebook and spoke to them there, and they set me up with the distribution there. So. And I believe that distribution they sell to us and Apos Audio, maybe one other company in North America.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is that I'm trying like I don't feel like how it's going to be profitable for you guys to carry like a lot of the Tri-Fi brands just because it moved like just because like most Tri-Fis are IEMs and being IEMs they move a little bit faster than headphones as like the technology kind of go like there's a fancy thing like as you say like flavor in the month like it's being IEM and being Tri-Fi. I think they do move a lot faster and it's kind of hard for you. I feel like it doesn't make financial sense for you just to have all that.
I mean, we do have certain thresholds for stuff that we'll carry. I mean, we're not looking to carry the $30 or 25 driver KZ IEM because then the 26 driver will come out a month later. But I mean, there's certain things. There's certain things that we are looking to carry, and that's stuff that we see and get praise. And I mean, if people return it a month later and buy something else, that's fine. That's what our return policy is for.
Yeah. Talk to me about that. Year, really? Why?
Well, I mean, people who are buying stuff to return are going to return in the next 30 days or so. They generally aren't going to take the whole year, and if people do take the whole year and try something out and generally want a different pair of headphones, then it's no different than making like generally people that keep stuff for a year and return them, they're going to buy something else. People who are buying within 30 days are buying from us because they've already been banned from Amazon for buying and returning. And that's any industry. That's not just headphones. That's shoes. That's clothing. That's everything, right? So another company who did the year-long return policy for shoes was Zappos, actually, and they ended up, I believe, they either got bought by Amazon or Nike, one of those two companies.
Yeah, Amazon.
And, yeah, there you go.
Thanks,
and yeah, and so it's just one of those things where psychologically Amazon's built in that 30-day return window into people's minds, and it puts that pressure on, right? And so people will get headphones, and then within the weekend they'll say, I listened to headphones for 2 hours and they weren't any good, I'm going to return them. I'm like, well, you've got a year to listen to them, so you could give them a couple more days, and the people that are just trying out to return them, they'll return them, and that's fine. But the people that genuinely want to try out headphones, they might try them out with different sources, they might try them with different music and end up liking them as well. So
I think it takes a while for I think just for anybody to decide if they like them or not. I think like brain burning is definitely a thing. And between
we did a test between a year and 30 days, and our returns were the exact same. So there was no difference.
So people don't usually, like, not too many people use that on the 364th day.
No, there's a couple of people that do, but generally, I mean, at that point, most people have forgotten that they can even return, right? So
do I get an extra day
now they want those and they keep them, right?
Yeah.
How often
do I get an extra day on leave?
What's that?
You want to
The
get an
leap
extra
year?
day on leap year? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, nice.
so like so around here we have like REI and Nordstrom and Costco, big local companies
Yeah.
that have like they used to have no return policy. You can basically go back 4 years. I've seen people actually return shoes like 4 years later to like REI or Nordstrom and whatnot.
This is insane.
Do you guys see that often, where people, I guess, wait till like the last day and return it?
I mean, we have had it with some people, and I mean, it's gonna happen with our policy just because that's the way it is. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like every person that buys from us returns on day 364, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if somebody buys a Utopia and returns it on day 364, and then they buy an LCD 4 and then they return that on day 364, it's really not the worst thing in the world. It's actually like generally the people who are planning to keep it for a year and return it on day 364, we get that back in better condition than somebody who used it for 3 weeks and was only planning on returning it. So
do you guys open box sale it, or do you guys return to manufacturer, or what do you deal with it?
It depends on the brand. Some brands will take back the gear. Other brands, we can sell open box on the website, and some brands don't let you sell open box at all. So you're just kind of stuck with the gear. And then there's different rules for eBay, Craigslist, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously it's not a big issue for you guys, because you guys are still a business, so obviously that's not a you're not getting like too many returns. I would assume.
Well, we had to modify our return policy a little bit just because we had people that were buying 9 headphones at a time, kind of thing, and that's like $20K tied up, and they'd return it all at the same time, right?
Yeah,
and
that's kind of a no.
And in that time, like I saw a Reddit post today from a guy that I know that bought from us, and he's like, I'm doing these comparisons for 2 weeks or whatever, and then he's obviously then he's obviously gonna return them, right? So, it's just one of those things where we had to put in a restocking fee if you bought a couple of things and then try to return them all, just to discourage that kind of thing, because we had people that would buy like the entire Campfire lineup and entire Noble lineup and then return every single thing all at the same time, right? And then that's like $20,000, so we got a refund on the same day, but we're still trying to buy inventory.
Yeah, and obviously you're not Amazon, unfortunately, so you can't really afford to take that hit.
Yeah, and I mean, we wish people would just email us in advance and say, hey, I want to try out these 3 headphones. Do you happen to have any open box headphones lying around or something that I could try out for this, instead of opening up your retail units and then return them all? But
right,
I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Ask from the general public, though.
I mean, like if like how willing are you if they just email you and say, hey, I want to try these 3 dApps and I'm probably going to return them? Do you have open box of it? Would you like actually do it?
Yeah, I mean, so we take a deposit on it, right? But we would do that. We would much rather somebody say, hey, I don't know if I'm going to keep anything, but I want to try them out. And then we're like, okay, we'll just pay a deposit, and then we can refund that deposit after, right?
And going to return it?
I don't know what you're talking about, but...
You don't know what you're talking about? Trying to make you a 4th Reddit drama? You calling it out?
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah, I think that comes with the business. I think everything that you... it's just what it is. Like, it doesn't matter what you sell. Like,
Well, so one of the things with us is we're headphones.com, right? So when people see that and they hear that, they assume that we're a really big company. But really, up until like Resolve was our 3rd employee. So up until that time, I'd say about 5 or 6, somewhere around there.
Wow.
But I mean, they're all content guys, right? So
yeah.
I mean, they're
I take pictures.
in terms of in terms of like the business itself, a lot of people just think we're just some giant entity, but really it's just me and Andrew running the show.
Yeah, so I pretty much have a little bit less than half of the entire headphones.com staff right here.
Yep, you have a customer support and general management, and then you have a content creator and community management guy. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's AI. It's not a big thing, and I think people don't have very little empathy for that. You guys are a small company, just two brothers starting out, and you just recently hire your fifth guy.
Great. Now you're lumping me. That statement now is going to make everyone think that I'm the other Andrew now.
Are you not Andrew? Well, no, that's not. Obviously, these two are not related. You can see one of them are more handsome. One of them are more handsome than the other, and whoever's more handsome are going to give me ADX 5K. I can't say it yet until I see that.
So you know who the more handsome one is then?
Yeah, probably Taron, because he's the one that's going to give me a free headphone. I think it's kind of like but like obviously it's you guys are not a big company. Definitely like not bigger than some of the like giants in the U.S. like Moon or whatever. But
I mean, Moon's only got about 8 guys, but they have their little they've got their little brick and mortar store there as well.
Yeah.
Also owned by Andrew.
Also
owned by Andrew. Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, his name is Drew. I don't know if that's short for Andrew or not, but
it's short for Andrew.
Probably all of you guys are just the same person. All the Andrews are the same person.
We're all just photoshopped.
And I feel like it's just like you guys are giving people the false illusion of small business. Actually, you guys are just one big conglomerate of Andrew.
Andrew Incorporated.
Andrew Business
Incorporated.
There's actually all the bigger audio stores are actually under some of the same people, or they're all best friends. So that's why it's harder to get some brands than others, because those stores don't want you to sell them. So
the audiophile mafia.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to me about like having a brick and mortar store. You're saying that's kind of because you guys are all like, as of now, you guys are pretty much just like an online retailer right now.
Yeah. We're so brick and mortar is something that we want to do, but we can't do right now. It would just be a distraction from the online business.
You can't buy a prime property in downtown Seattle right now? Wow. What?
Yeah, downtown Vancouver.
Gross. No. You're an American company. American jobs, okay? American.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we would like to open a brick and mortar store, but it would take away from the online side of things too much and be too much of a distraction until we have an actual team built. I don't think that it would be possible for us to do that. So
just use Tyler's house.
Yeah.
My wife would love that.
I think it's that bakery that we go to all the time could be a really good place.
Yeah, I mean the first year and a half of the company was run off of Andrew's couch, so it worked pretty well.
We need to implement the Zeppelin & Co. style and do a coffee and headphones.
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to do that with scotch and coffee together.
There you go.
That'd be dope. I've been saying that too. Like I would love to do that.
It'd just be like this in real life.
That's what we like to do. But I mean, headphones.com is not a cheap name.
Rush's nipples just got really hard. I don't know why.
I mean, definitely. Most of my drunk buys are definitely
scotch.
And
headphones.
Have fun getting a liquor license in Seattle or Vancouver. I don't know how that works.
Suck, you say.
I mean, headphones definitely sound a lot better if you're drunk. Definitely the
best distortion adder.
Yeah, there you go. The chemical distortion. You don't need that from me.
Who needs tubes when you have whiskey?
There you go. Definitely give all my headphones that 2B sound. I
Hey,
I mean,
speaking
yeah.
of IEMs, I actually have a question. I'm gonna
You get to ask
come
the
in
question.
and
Please ask him.
wedge it. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, because I know there's something that Rush is not talking about that
I don't
Ant
wanna talk
has, and
about
Ant liked them.
What? Which
and,
one?
And
Oh, the mess.
and so Rush has them now. Yeah,
Yeah.
the best, the
I don't know what you're
best.
talking about. Awful I am, by the
He-
way.
No,
he-
no,
Put it in the
you
blender.
Yeah.
tell me,
It's
Ant,
gone.
the truth,
It's gone.
the truth, Ant.
I don't
Let's
know.
go.
I heard
You
some.
will see the next 80 review. Will it blend? messed.
Will it blend?
Yeah.
Come on,
I
man.
do have a
Tell us
blender.
what you think. I know what you
Tell
think.
us,
So
come
tell
on.
us.
I don't think
You have a couple drinks in you now, or sips, so we get the warm and fuzzy Rush now, or are we getting the angry normal?
I think he's
Rush?
an angry drunk.
I don't think I'm an angry drunk. I'm definitely a lot.
loud drunk.
How about this? I can't please anybody because if I'm angry, people call me a keyboard warrior. If I am nice, then people call me a show. So there's that.
No one can win, man. That's just the nature of the
So how's the mess?
I mean,
Come on.
it's pretty awful. I mean, probably the worst thing I've ever put in my ears. It's just the most disgusting thing. I don't know why you even like. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. There's like no. I think it's I can't find anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Is this
Which
the
is probably
is this the first Chi-Fi? It's not even a hybrid. I guess.
outside of the
Yeah, it's not even a hybrid. It's a quad-bird. Four
Yeah.
driver.
and
Yeah.
with the boner conduction.
Yeah.
I listened to it
I-
at CanJam, New York. And
are
it
you
was-
going to carry the?
Yeah.
Is it on headphones.com? No. Do you not sell UM?
No, they. I think they go through Music Tech, right? So
They go through Music Tech, yeah.
yeah.
Music.
The internet.
And
group.
You did try him at CanJam,
Yeah.
though, Taron. So what was
I
you
did.
like?
I did try them. They were one of the standouts of that show. They're one of the few that I remembered, but there wasn't a whole lot that was announced at CanJam New York either. So I think that's when Empire Ears did the Wraith and Valkyrie as well. And I remember I liked the Valkyrie, and that's just because I like that extra bass and huge V tuning.
He likes the low
But
end.
I don't really remember the Wraith. So
Taron likes a little junk in the
Is
trunk.
that
I
your
remember.
way of saying the race is hot garbage? I don't really remember the race.
But it's so pretty.
well,
It's so
I've been
pretty.
reading.
No,
It's not pretty. It's purple.
I've
but it's
been
not
I've been
Tyler.
reading. I've been reading impressions of the Wraith, and they're different than what I remember at CanJam New York. So I don't know if the tune-in's changed since then, or what's going on there. But I need to listen to it again. Resolve has a Wraith right now, so
How many Wraith return have you had?
we haven't had any Wraith returns.
How many Wraith sale have you had? We haven't had any Wraith sale.
We had it sounds
No,
good.
we've sold a few Wraiths. Come on.
That's right.
No,
Sorry,
it's
we'll
actually the Legend X gets returned the most, just because I don't think people
You're not supposed to say that.
Respecting the
just
bass.
just like
It's too much
just like
bass.
the Cascade. Yeah, just like the Cascade, people think they like bass until they try those headphones,
Until they
and
try
then
something with bass.
they realize that they actually don't want that much bass.
The Cascade it gets returned for a very different reason. That's because it's a piece of shit headphones that nobody should ever buy. Let me tell you how bad it is. They made their first venture into headphones, and they stopped making headphones. I'm
No,
so
they-
scared of it.
They still make them. They just go out of stock every couple months.
Yeah.
So.
Because they sell out, Rush.
They're too
They-
good.
why.
They,
Yeah.
they make pretty much just about that. Oh, jeez.
I mean, so here's the so actually, Dex has my Cap Car Cascades right now.
I don't know why you put him through that torture, but okay.
He said he likes bass, so we put it to the test.
Not like, I mean, if you call me farting bass, sure.
But the XL pads, I'm gonna say this: the XL pads do help with the bass with those. The cloth pads are do too, but I just think they're uncomfortable and not very good. But that's
Dex is so nice. Dex is such a nice person. Like I feel like you, Tyler, and Dex are two of the nicer person. I feel really bad about being a dick to.
Taron's super nice, and you're super mean.
Well, that's because this is going to be the last interview, and he will never sell me anything ever again after this. So I have nothing to lose on this. And obviously knows I'm not gonna buy anything because I'm poor. Because I spent all my money on buying waifu stuff. So.
That's embarrassing.
Where's the pillow? Where's the pillow?
Oh, I don't think I want to. It's a little bit rated R.
It's in the wash right now.
It's not in the wash.
Please don't show that.
No, I'm not.
We're gonna get banned on YouTube.
Did you know what you're getting yourself into, Taron, before you agreed to this? I don't.
Taron's like, son of a...
I mean, I've watched some of the podcasts in the past, and I've spent enough time. I've spent enough time in the Discord to know what I was going into before it. So
yeah.
I think of you as like the Seinfeld soup kitchen guy.
Soup Nazi.
So just
no
so
soup
like,
for
no,
you.
Like no, like, I didn't rope Taron into this. He knew I was a dick before this. So like it wasn't like a blind thing. Now to get a angry drunk Asian yelling at him. Like
he's a grown guy. You know,
Yeah. I mean I don't want to you know he knew what he got himself into. So this is not uncalled for verbal abuse. So just so you know, it's all he consented to that.
No, we like me and Andrew like doing these kinds of things. It just so happens that you guys, even the Headphone Show, plans these in the middle of a Saturday during the only time that we get to spend with our families and wives, and it's never a convenient time. So.
I'm sorry. Next time we'll have a Monday morning show just before your job, so we can just run right before that.
Yeah.
And I'll order my headphones then, and you can mess up my order drunk, so I can make a Reddit post and get my free headphones. That will be my master plan. But no,
yes.
I like how you brought up Empire Years, because
the Odin, the most talked about machine in the world right now.
What, are you getting it soon? Is it in the store now? Like the physical store?
So our Odin demos get into us on Wednesday, and then we'll have it up in Canada on Thursday, most likely.
Have
you heard
not
it?
The best.
Because no, I haven't heard it because we're waiting for our demo unit. But once that comes up, then we'll listen to it, pass it off to Resolve. He'll measure it. I think he wants to do video content on it. And then the next person in line is one of our new IEM reviewers, Precog.
Yeah, you stole it from me.
And then from there,
Precog shout out.
Yeah, and then from there it will go up to Tyler / Anthony.
Yeah, I enjoy that you pick out the messes of Audio 46.
It's mostly because Audio Discourse trained him to be such a great reviewer.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I gave him antibiotic tips as compensation, and he didn't want them. It was not enough for him. I understand.
I don't blame him. I don't like my ears to be penetrated either. So.
I think I'll go with a model. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. A model, which is
see, my trick is if I'm about to say something mean, I stop and just say the opposite thing.
That's why you like to cascade so much.
But
damn it! Walk right into that wall.
so you're getting and you guys definitely taking. I assume. It's a pretty hot seller, huh, Olden? Can you tell me how many units are you getting just for the initial launch?
Sell out.
Well, I mean, I can look at the website. Yeah, I can look at the website. I think we have 2 Founders Editions left. I can't tell you how many that we ordered, but we ordered a few to give you a number.
I mean, it's
ordered
3.5
many. This many, Rush.
And the Founders Edition, I assume it's like a first come first serve, and it's already gone.
Yeah, I mean, so there'll still be Odins. They just won't be the Founders Edition Odins. So.
I mean, honestly, I don't really care. Like, who the fuck wants it?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Founders Edition is signatures and whatever. So I mean, there are like.
It has everything in it. The box is just fine.
the box is different, and there are a lot of collectors out there who just buy everything, right? So
Right.
for
Can
the
you guys
for the
make a
collectors out there, it's
headphones.com
perfect.
edition with your signatures on it? Andrew and Andrew?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the Andrews only. It's just a bunch of
Everybody,
A's.
well, I mean,
It's
you have to sign your name.
It's
you
an
have to sign
A,
your
just
name
kind of
and
slowly
name.
shaped it.
Yeah, I mean, if we could cross the border, we could go down and sign our name. But in order to do that, we'd have to get it shipped up to Canada, sign it, ship it back to the U.S., and then ship it out to the customers. So
Oh,
But you can
just
charge for
pass the
that.
cost on to the
Yeah.
customers. Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the founders edition are the same price as the regular edition, right? The founders just first
Yeah,
comes first served.
they are.
Yeah.
It's first come first served. Just like the ZenCam, the first 1,000 units come with a power adapter, and the rest don't. So
Oh,
The rest of you guys just figured out.
yeah.
I mean, and it's all sold out. Like you can't tell me how many that you order, but it's all sold out right now, right?
There's two left.
I think there's two left. If I'm looking,
Order yours
at,
today at headphones.com.
Ooh.
yeah.
It is
Yeah,
it is
I
very
expect,
highly
I expect some check from you
Sought
from that
after.
ad, by the way.
yeah, it's very highly
I
rated.
mean the Odin is getting a lot of hype behind the doors. Since everybody's still under embargo for the most part, I think. So
What are some
Yeah,
reviews out there already?
Well,
I can't wait to hear it from a headphones.com demo unit that I'm definitely getting. Not getting it.
Not after this.
No. Well, yeah, not after this, definitely not. I mean, talking about Empire Years. This is not an Empire Years podcast. We had that last time. Because I gave Chi-Fi so much shit. On like very fast pace refresh.
Yeah.
Have you and you have that year return policy, which is kind of to your disadvantage right now because Wraith and the original Valkyrie was less than a year ago. So if you bought the Empire Years at launch, not to encourage this, totally encourage this. If you bought the Empire Years at launch, you should totally just return it from headphones.com and buy the new Empire Years. Have you seen a lot of people? Have you seen some people doing that? I mean, it's kind of like a no.
I mean, you know, the headphones. A lot of them are different flavors, right? Like.
Yeah, and the Wraith is a really bad flavor. Just in general. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, that's part of. I mean, that's part of headphones is that people like for every person that every person that shits on something, there's another guy out there who wants to buy it, right?
One man's trash is another man's trash, and vice versa.
Like the Night Owl. The Night Owl was the first closed back headphone that I ever personally owned, and that's the most comfortable headphone in the world. And I liked its sound. I like the Polaris 2, which I know a lot of people hate. And the Valkyrie for me is like the Polaris 2, just better in every way, but it's also 3 times the price.
Are you supposed to say that? And Bob will not happy if you said that.
I mean, for a headphone, for a headphone 3 times the price, I mean, it's fine if it's better. That's just the way it is. I also like. I have specific use cases for IEMs where I commute to work on Vancouver's bus system and SkyTrain, and so there's usually loud noises, announcements, and so that extra bass that comes through is great for that.
Yeah, sure.
And then at home I use the Rad Zeros, which people love or hate, and Chrono has a pair right now, and he's got a little bit of a bigger head than I do, and he's having some fitment issues. But sounds good.
Can you not show those awful pair of Chi-Fi in disguise? I mean,
limited edition gold.
It's kind of like EE put out those real quick because you you did complain about it. Well, not about EE, but about the leaks. I think I want to talk to you about the leaks that other people do that you are obviously not allowed to do.
Yeah.
Is it kind of frustrating? Like, is it frustrating for like the fucking Europeans to leak like things all the time?
I mean, yeah, it is because they're like, you know, as a company, you're trying to do the best by the brand, right? And so when those leaks come out, you expect something to be done, but generally nothing gets done, and so you're kind of punished for. Well, I mean, you're kind of punished for doing the right thing because all of that hype and traffic is going to whoever leaked that product, right? And it's not going to your store, or it's not going to your forum, you know, like we could easily make a forum post and leak something, but we don't do that because we
morals.
Well, yeah.
I mean, so a lot of it, like, some of it's accidentally on purpose, right? But a lot of it is like when you're doing stuff on the back end of your store, sometimes you screw up and you publish something without meaning to publish it, right? Like you can set when to publish things. So like you have it set to publish at a certain time because you want to be the first person to have it up for SEO reasons, but you also don't want to put it up too early and get in trouble, right? So there's kind of that fine line, and you know, some stores, the stores that have done it multiple times are obviously doing it on purpose, but some stores are genuinely like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Right.
So.
And do you like in this industry, which I don't know, do you sign an NDA or is it just like a verbal agreement?
So when you sign an agreement with a company, you sign an NDA, but because of all the leaks that have happened over the last couple of years, companies have been making you sign NDAs before you're even allowed to have any product information for new releases now. So they know exactly if you're the one who leaked it.
Right. Are you now? I know the you are on a going back to E. You're on a embargo with E still. Like you are allowed to talk about Odin and Valkyrie, which is
can't show any measurements.
Or Odin and Hero we can talk about. Yeah.
Okay, Odin and Hero. You can't talk about any of the Mark IIs.
No, we can acknowledge that they
don't
exist, but we cannot talk about them. I
Yeah,
mean, like China posted it all over Facebook. They post all over Instagram that it's there, right? So basically, it's just one of those things that's out there, but we can't talk about what's going on with them, right?
I didn't know there was a Mark II coming out.
And just so you know, like that's I am not.
Spoiler alert.
We're not from Headphone.com, so we can talk about it. The bottom two cannot say anything about any of the Mark II, which is like
there's no
like, really. Thank fucking God. That's Jesus. I can't. I mean, I'm sorry. The Wraith is so perfect that you cannot make a more perfect studio monitor than that. Sponsored by Headphones.com. Please buy their leftover Wraith stock, which you probably still have a dozen that you haven't sold. I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, it's kind of stupid that people don't follow up on an agreement that you just kind of leak. And as you can say, you obviously you can't talk about it. So like all the people that can kind of drive traffic elsewhere, and I kind of like do you get people like when those things like when anything okay fine you can't talk about the Empire, so let's go to CFA. CFA 2020 got leaked, so obviously that's already released, but it got leaked the day before. Do you get people like messaging you and say, hey Taron, like say I heard this new thing is coming out? Like, do you get those kind of questions before your NDA kind of expires in a way?
Yeah, so we get those kind of questions. We also get questions before we even know that the product exists. So somebody else read it on Headfi or whatever, and then we end up emailing the brand and being like, "Hey, we heard this is being done." Like, "Oh yeah, here you go." You know?
I may be guilty of that sometimes.
yeah. Well, there's that, and there's just like some. I don't know how people on Headfi find things like some foreign site in Serbia with language, but they were searching like some sort of they're searching like they got bots crawling for any sort of update for anything. So I mean we get questions about new products all the time that one we either can't talk about or two we don't even know exists but is actually a product. So
I don't know if you can tell me how long have you known Odin being a thing? Actually, it has already been a thing. If you go to Cam Jam, there's like a beta version of Odin. They've been like demoing, having a like demo of So we
Yeah,
always knew Odin is going to be a thing.
yeah, like
If you go,
kind of like how 64 audio does it. It's just an IEM with no shell, right? And it has a specific tune in, and they want to test it with people to see what they think of it, right? So I mean, generally, for the companies that want to launch a product well, we know about them decently in advance because they want to be able to capture pre-orders from their dealers and everything, right?
right, of course. And
Some companies will tell you about a product and then launch it the next day. So
that's a little bit hard to I mean it's Odin's not technically like you're getting an obviously next Wednesday. I was just kind of a little bit surprised because I thought you would get that a little bit well in advance because you want to have the reviews out at the same time to just capture the marketing side of things. I thought.
yeah, I mean, we'd like to get demo units as fast as we can, but companies tend to send things out to other countries before North America, especially on the IM side.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, I'm sorry. You can't. Like Taron can't say this, but I'm gonna say it for him. North American doesn't matter. There you go. IEM company don't care about NA. So just so the people watching, we're mostly like you don't matter. You in the States don't matter.
It's more so that the Asian market is huge for IEMs because there's no space for anything. I mean, it's just like Singapore buys a lot of headphones. They don't buy a lot of IEMs. But Japan and China, the IEM market there is gigantic. Like oftentimes IEM manufacturers will be completely sold out because of some order that a company in Asia made. So
here's a joke about like obviously you guys don't carry Sony, best IEM brand by the way. Just
camera. Best camera.
Yeah, and NetForce, Alan from TSAV always complained about how he can't get any like Z1R in because it's like the big seller, you know. And I joke about
fanboyism a little bit too, I think, with that one. But
yeah, but like you can't get them in, and you can't get any of the Sony IEMs in, just because Sony don't care about North America.
It's always been the case though.
Yes, like I think any IEM company, like I don't know, like can you, like do you know, like obviously you're in the industry, Taron, like can you talk about the market share comparatively, like Southeast Asia versus the States?
I mean, I couldn't say because we don't have a store in Asia, so I couldn't say how much they dominate that market share. But I mean, I will say that the US is a huge headphone market and not a huge IEM market, but younger people tend to buy IEMs.
Right.
And that's why Vancouver and Toronto and Canada are very popular for IEMs as well.
And obviously you can't tell me how many Odin you have sold so far, so I'll just tell you. I was on WeChat with one of my Chinese IEM dealers for the southern region, and I have asked him if I can share that information. So just from the southern region in China, just to compare with your numbers, he told me he got 150 Odin, and it's also he sold 150 Odin. In a week.
I think that North America in total won't hit that number until
that just from two provinces in China. That's from two provinces in China. 150 Odin. I'm like, holy shit. He's like,
I mean that area is also, they sell, I think it's 5 grand Utopias. That's the $600 Focal towers, or the 600 pound Focal towers that are 100 grand each. They sell about 5 of those a year, plus a Utopia Tornare, which is the gold plated $120,000
Yeah.
Utopia.
Wait, people
Yeah,
actually
it's-
buy
it's-
that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
people are like people have money in China. Unfortunately, well, fortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a kind of like a rough business to do it in the States, just because like a lot of the company's resources are allocated towards China and Singapore, just because that's like by far like I don't know your numbers. I don't even think North America is like even 2% of their sales. That's just my rough estimate on just.
I think it depends on the product. Once again, that FOMO in Asia is also very large versus North America as well. So I think the people who buy at launch in North America are smaller than who buy at launch in China. But overall, I think the numbers are closer. It's just the launch units. So many people want them first.
There's 1.5 billion people in China, right?
And per market share per capita, I think they're similar. But
like per capita, like that's like the funny way to skew things. But there's also like 5 times as many people in China versus the States. And as you said, like most people don't have houses, so they can't really have speakers. So obviously the IEM market is definitely a lot bigger.
Well, and I was gonna say too that it's not necessarily about the Chinese piece, but just in general, it seems like with most things when it comes to this is just my hot take on it, like people that don't have the space or means for like a speaker system who will kind of gravitate more towards the headphone space, right? And then you can even skew that even to the IEM space. People that can't really afford or can go deep into the headphone space will skew more towards the IEM space. And that's super generalized and not accurate at all, but it seems like there can be some saying in that. Like we're in the sense where you can get cheaper IEMs than you can headphones and cheaper headphones than you can speakers, right? Like there's just some things that you can kind of tier that way.
I mean, yeah, I think so, and obviously to have nice speakers, you do need to have a nice room, which is just based on like
it's not just and then amps and all that stuff.
Yeah, not to shit on the Chinese, which I love, because China is just about as big as the States, but there's 5 times as many people. So obviously the room constraint is definitely there. You can't fit as 5 times as many people and still have a fucking house. So people do like have like, and people do like on the move are like a little bit more often. So I'm kind of glad that you are breaking into the studio monitor market there. Little and I'm kind of how is that? I don't know. What's the next, like, can you tell me about the project, like after the studio monitor, like what's the next big thing? Are you gonna have a brick and mortar store in Seattle? I really do love
Southern California.
Southern California.
We'd like to have a brick and mortar store in Huntington Beach. That's where we'd like to be.
Okay.
But I mean, in terms of, we always have a lot of things up in the air, and a lot of things that we work on for a couple months that don't end up actually happening. Maybe 1 out of 20 things that we work on end up happening just because that's the way
you tell me
it
something
works.
about? Can you do some headphones.com? Now that you're drunk out of your mind, well, now that you're 2 whiskey in, can you tell me some of the project that maybe see the light of day from headphones.com?
I mean, right now there isn't, aside from bringing in the studio monitors, where you've got, I mean, nothing that I could talk about right now.
Oh, come on. Clearly you're not drunk enough, so have another whiskey. And then we'll revisit that question a little bit later.
No.
I mean, yeah, I think
So one thing we've always wanted to do is wanted to make our own headphone.
Please don't do that.
And that would be a headphone that goes out to the community for tuning. But it's also something that we know would be a huge time commitment and a huge distraction, and it's not something that's in the works anytime soon.
Okay.
That's more like that it's not now. This is like a thing that would be fun to do in the future.
Yeah, it's more so something that would be fun to do versus starting our own headphone business.
Yeah, I'm not hot on that idea. Not that it matters to me because I'm not.
I mean, you wouldn't buy it anyways, so.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm actually surprised he's wearing
No,
headphones right now.
I know,
Yeah,
right? I was expecting to see some mest in there, a little bone conduction.
He was wearing it
yeah,
earlier.
I was. But I mean, like, I mean that would be fun, I guess. But I'm not a big fan of the DIY headphone game. Just like.
Well, I mean, I don't think they would do it a DIY style. I don't think you're gonna see. I mean, just
It can
based
be
on
a-
the
Yeah, no,
limited
it would
experience of.
it would be
You don't
it's
have
natural.
you don't have seatbelt.
There wouldn't be a seatbelt or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we've got
Seatbelt for headbands, huh?
yeah
Is that
we've
what
got
you don't have?
we've got quite a few like factory connections and stuff where we could make our own headphone between Canada, Shenzhen, all those places. We do
Yeah,
we do have we do have we do yeah we've got plenty of that stuff. It's just
I think you just do a
it's-
collab. That's just so much more easier, and I think
well we've talked about that with a couple brands as well. It's just a matter of what we would actually want to put our name on. So
I think that's definitely like it's like a brand thing. You don't want to attach your brand to something that's really just not
garbage.
Yeah, shout out to Moon Audio and their absolutely fucking turd of a looking VX, by the way. So you now. Let me just clear once again. I don't work for headphones.com. Yeah. So when I talk shit about Moon Audio, yeah, you guys can turn away. Jesus, like that is. If you ever so for the people who are here, if you ever like, I'm not gonna bring any business to Moon. Okay, so if you go to Moon Audio, look at their VX. It's the most ugliest thing. It's all black. It has
Black
the
is
VX
good.
logo. Well, yeah, but it's just like go look on their site. Go look on their site.
Like, I've never seen it, so I can't.
You do know that
No.
the VX that you own has been reviewed as a plastic bag on Amazon.com, by the way.
Yes, of course.
Amazon.com.
My camera's off.
Smile.
But yeah, like I mean, like I sure hope you're not doing one of those, Taron. Please don't ruin my favorite IEM into like.
I'm looking at it right now because the VX has like that sparkly silver shell,
Yeah,
it's
right?
plastic
Like
bag.
clear.
Foil.
Yeah.
Aluminum foil.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
tried Anthony's. It was huge, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow.
And since you're
Hot
you're
take.
into that sci-fi thing, what's the hold up? Why can't you have my favorite brand? You don't carry two of my favorite brand, which is why I never buy anything from you because
What are those two brands?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's the QDC and the Sony.
Unique Melody Mesh is what he wants. That's
I'm about to
specifically the mini. Specifically the mini.
I don't know why. Like, no, you know what? The full size mesh fits me like a mini. Like it fits all the way.
Yeah.
Do you know
All the way
do you
in.
know you-
All the way in. There you go.
Do you know your mesh have driver flex?
I believe it. Actually, yeah.
I like that's how good of a fit it is. It has driver flex,
Oh wow.
which
It
is
just-
not a good thing on a $1.5 grand IE. But no, going back to Taron, why haven't you carried a QDC yet? Because you love that tri-fi now. You're into that.
QDC does not deal direct into North America.
Would you like me to call somebody?
I mean, we reached out to QDC a couple times. They're in.
Would you like me to pick up my phone right now?
Yeah, call them
Yeah,
up.
to call my
Hot-
to call my
hot minute. Hot take. Real
Yeah.
quick.
He actually
While,
was
on the spot.
while you're
Yeah,
at it, you can reach out to Sony for us too.
I
Yeah,
think
reset.
it's hard. I think it's hard to have again like and Music Tech is the distributor also that sells QDC in the States, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Moon goes through Music Tech or they get it direct. I think they get it direct. But
Yeah, they do. That's why they have that abomination. Please, if I ever see one of those things, please, for the love of God, do not put that thing in front of my face, because I will like fucking slap it out of your face. That is like one of the. I don't know how Moon. Jeez, sorry. No, let me not talk about Moon anymore. Please carry QTC and please let it not be all black. That's my request. And I think a lot of people do bug you about. I think I'm one of the people who are guilty of, because I always bug you about not carrying Fostech and not having QTC and not having Sony. Is it like? Can you speak a little bit about maybe some of the difficulties, as you already touched up on, having it's hard to carry a lot of Asian brands. Like, is it hard?
Well, it's not even Asian brands. It's just
what's the process of having
changing it up, just as that.
Yeah, it's not even carrying Asian brands. It's just brands in general. It's a process to convince them to let you sell their products, right? And Sony, they're just such a huge company that it's really hard to find the right person to speak to sell their products. Right. And we do sell Sony, but we sell their consumer lineup, which is like the Sony Extra Bass or whatever. And we don't get their DAPs, and we don't get their IEMs, which we actually want.
Right.
And then it's the same thing. It's not an Asia thing. It's just a headphone brand thing in general. That a lot of the companies, it's not like there's a easy thing to reach out to people. A lot of times when I'm reaching out to brands, I'm reaching out through their customer support box on their thing, saying, "Hey, we'd like to carry your stuff," right? But who knows how many of those emails actually go through to the right people to say, "Hey, headphones.com wants to carry our product,"
Right. And that's not an Asian brand thing. I think it's a fact that Asia just have a way bigger market, and I think a lot of the brands don't really have like dedicated customer service or distributors for North America. Like how many like AK staff is in the state? Like you can't really like. It's not that many people.
They actually, so Aston Kern has a really good staff in the States.
But how many staff do they have? Like not that. Oh, go subscribe to Tyler's channel for that app giveaway. By the way.
Yeah, I won that photography.
Yeah. I couldn't say how many staff they actually have. Even if I know, I couldn't say, because that's for A&K. But they've got, for North America, they got a pretty knowledgeable base, and I'm sure some of the stuff has to go back to Korea
Yeah, right. And usually for a lot of brands, it's just really like one person.
Yeah.
Like you guys are not a big company, like as you said, it's just 5 people. Like for headphones.com, and a lot of the U.S. based distributors, they're not really like heavily staffed as compared to like the Asian market. Like they have a dedicated like again, like you can't say this, but I can, because I go to China a lot, and I'm kind of involved in their community. Is that they have like Sony alone have an office for each individual region of China, which is kind of crazy, because like you don't get that kind of support in the States, just because unfortunately that's just the comparison in sales is just not there for the States. I think that's why.
The thing with Sony too is that they do have a North America office. It's just that TVs are way more popular than headphones, right?
They don't
so
really
TVs and games.
It's the same thing. Same thing with Pioneer, right? Like their receivers and stuff are way more popular than their DAPs. Yeah. So that's where the majority of the market and attention goes to, right?
They're not really trying to sell you like Z1 is trying to sell you the Sony.
But for A&K, obviously, all those guys, they actually have good teams in North America, and it's like, you can get warranty done pretty quick. A lot of amp DAC companies are over in Europe. So if the distributor in North America can't get that done, then it has to go to Europe to get repaired. And so the hardest part about carrying foreign brands is getting post-sale service afterwards.
Right. And that's like kind of like a big thing for. I mean, the best service is that service that you have never used, but unfortunately, people kind of
That's
abuse
the
it.
Amazon model.
Yeah. But I mean, for the, and you guys do like obviously the warrant, like you can return it within a year and you will service it like like do you have your own servicing policy or do you just use the manufacturer ones?
We use the manufacturers.
So isn't it funny that how somehow your return policy is the same length as the warranty?
It is, but I mean, if people send back a broken product, they don't get a refund, right? It's a broken product. It has to be repaired before they can send it back.
Okay, so that's kind of nice.
That's
still,
kind of
like,
nice. So for us, a lot of the stuff we replace ourselves, and then we'll take care of the warranty process ourselves as well. So if somebody receives something that's broken or breaks down, we'll replace it and then do the warranty ourselves. We're not going to send them to the manufacturer to take care of because sometimes they can take up to a month to take care of, right? And I mean, I'm like, especially right now, things suck for most manufacturers because they're operating with like 20% of their regular staff, and the amount of inquests coming through are through the roof because online sales have picked up. They've tripled, right, for pretty much everybody. So in terms of shipping, receiving, warranty, all that stuff, that's all tripled, and the staff has dwindled. So
I heard business been doing good. I guess from what you're saying, are you I guess pretty happy about that? Aside from staying in the house all day.
No, good business is horrible.
Well,
Why would you? That would be.
Yeah, we go into the office every day. We've got an office in Vancouver that we go into just because it's me and Andrew, so we're not worried about anything like that.
Why do you have an office if it's just you and Andrew?
Because working from home is a distraction. So
is it really?
I'm in Vancouver. I've got a 1-bedroom apartment, so
we did get some highlights of Taron wife earlier.
Yeah. And Andrew's kid is just over 2 years old now, so working at home really isn't an option for getting real work done, right? And then the office, we store all our gear there as well. So all the review units that we bring up for Resolve, all that stuff is there. So
like must be a nice job to like. I think a lot of people are kind of like envious of what you do. Like if there's like a famous saying like do what you love, so you don't ever have to work a day in your life. Is that like obviously you are like passionate about the community. So is this something that you love to do?
It's
do you feel like you're working at all? Do you feel like you're working at all when you're working?
I mean, I do all the customer service, so yeah.
There you go. That's when you're working to answer the keyboard warriors of Reddit.
I mean, now that we've brought Resolve in full time and we bought the measurement rig and everything, a lot of the gear that used to sit on my desk goes direct to him from the office. So I didn't even get a chance to unbox it anymore before it goes out to him.
Does he come to the office? Does Resolve come
yeah, he comes to the office to grab the gear. He grabs it in bunches.
They go home.
So.
He doesn't have the cubicle? No
cubicle.
cubicles?
Doesn't have a cubicle.
You don't give him a cubicle?
He's in sub-basement.
Well, his whole filming setup's at home and everything right now, but we're
bring all that to the office, you know.
Well, we're moving into a new office this fall, and everything will be done there once that's done. That's
nice. How can you tell me about those? Is it like a bigger office?
It's like a studio, more like a studio piece, and then that get more.
Yeah, it'll be a bigger office that has a dedicated filming room, measurements, all that stuff. So
nice.
Maybe it's time for the wife and I to move to Vancouver. Oh.
So one of the things with COVID happening is a lot of tech companies realize that they don't need offices anymore because they can actually do the same thing, and so
for less money, way less money.
Vancouver, I mean, the rent might not get cheaper, but there will be more spaces open this fall.
Right. Just more freeing up more options. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely an expanding business. If you want to join Headphones.com, you guys are hiring right now, right? For some more customer service people.
We're
So
gonna
you know.
we're gonna see how this one person goes first.
Rush needs a job.
The
Rush
problem
needs a
is
job.
You know what?
yeah,
I worked 10 hours last week. That was pretty nice.
yeah. The problem is that because me and Andrew have been the ones that have been dealing directly with customers for so long, that our customer service standards are pretty high. So a regular customer service person, we have to get them up to that level before we hire more people to do that.
Right, right.
Set the standard for the first employee, and then kind of build from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely important when you're.
Hey,
Oh,
Ant, what just
Anthony,
happened?
Anthony's losing his camera.
the slow, just
Well, yeah.
Ant, your camera's drunk.
Yeah. Actually, this is I am interviewing them, but they're actually interviewing me for. So I'm putting in my bid for your customer service support. As you can tell, I am definitely very good with the customer. Fuck them.
Failedorg.blog.
Yeah.
.com.
No. Yeah. Definitely. You know, putting in my
I
bids
mean,
for customer support.
you would deliver service on par with Amazon seller support. So
Ooh, I know something about that company.
yeah,
Please hire me.
not Amazon's customer service, but the service they provide for sellers.
I have a
incredible.
quick question. I want to kind of jump in real quick to Ant, because
Yes.
I know he has them. He's not wearing them right now.
Oh, these
Andromeda,
things? These
2020.
things?
You're absolute
Yeah.
surfing.
Oh, I want to hear more.
You just don't
Absolute
want to hear
surfing.
Rush talk anymore. I know how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to do this every week, so
I just want Rush to take his headphones off and kind of.
That's
yeah, lots of love.
I have to side up my hair for 2 fabulous for headphones.
So these,
There we go.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
That's why
That's-
I'm not buying my ADX 5K for.
All right, Ant, hot take. Quick,
Go ahead,
because I know you're gonna have a review soon, and you're gonna have fun stuff.
I
You
don't
already
want
did quick
to. I don't want to
impression,
talk
think,
about it
right?
because I might get yelled at Reddit for astroturfing, talking about Reddit.
yeah.
Andromeda's too much. So
three mentions in 1
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
That's way too much.
that's way too much.
Wow, they talk too much about a headphone that just IM just released too much. Wow, that's so
Especially
weird.
the Andromeda
Awkward.
of all things, because that's like the Reddit love child. But
Yeah,
But
right?
they're past that phase. I think I have killed it with my
Yeah.
Andrew shitting.
so
You know what's funny? That secret episode came out the day after. Like we came out with that secret episode with me shitting on the Solaris and Andromeda. I like how you ask him a question. I'm still talking. And then the
where's
day
the,
later
where's the
they
mute
came out
button
with
here?
2020.
Mute.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I still love you. I still love you, Rush.
So yeah, these
go.
Andromedas. Quick review.
Available at headphones.com, by the way.
He's still talking, man.
Can't stop. Won't stop. Sorry.
Quick
Yeah,
review.
go.
Much better fit than the original Andromeda. So I did try the
that was my thing.
the last year's version, and this is I think the same exact shell. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And in the
You're not
Andromeda
putting them
Gold,
together.
same shell.
Same shell, different nozzle.
Yeah.
Different nozzle. It
So-
has these nozzles. The
Solaris nozzle.
gold and Solaris.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Andro had the 3 holes on the nozzle.
Yeah. The smiley face or surprise
Yeah.
face. I missed the surprise face.
So the very first thing I put them on, the very first thing I noticed was imaging and layering and soundstage was amazing. Like one of the best for multi-BA out there. And I had the Viento, so it's in that type of realm, if not better. I think that probably has a lot to do with the tubeless design that they're going with nowadays. So I think that helps with like the resonance, kind of more, I guess, lively sound to it. And then also, some people may not know, but I did not like the Andromeda that much. Mostly because it sounded like haze. Toronto's haze spy thing. So having this tune more to my preference target, like it's actually pretty close to my preference target. It's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is it's gonna be controversial, but it's still got a lot of impedance issues. So if you have,
It's not as bad as the original, but it's definitely got some issues.
Yeah, it's not quite as bad, but let's just say I'm not a big cable believer, but after listening to this and measuring it, cables matter a lot. So like I'm using this cable, which is 4 feet long or
Is
so.
that the Smoky Lits? Is that just custom?
This is the Dunu.
Dunu?
Very similar look.
Is it not the purple deliciousness?
No, that one. Yeah, no. This is
Tyler,
better.
you and your Tri-Fi cables, no.
But
purple, Rush.
So I measured it like this, and then I measured on my balanced version, and it sounded completely different. Or even just listening to it, when I first listened to it, I put it on balance. I was like, this is very fatiguing, like super bright, and everyone else was saying it was really smooth. So then I was like, oh, maybe I should just try it on 3.5. So I did that, and it was like completely different sound, much more smooth. And then I measured it like with my normal 4-foot cable, and then I added a 3-foot extender to it because my amp is way out over there somewhere.
That was an interesting.
Yeah, so my amp is on a bookshelf to the side of here. So I have like a 10 feet of cable, which is like 3 meters for Canadians, to my desk. So my desk has a couple little...
The real measurements.
Yeah, and it actually measures quite a bit differently. So then...
It's a feature, not a bug, Anthony.
Yeah. So between my amp to my desk, there's about anywhere between 2 to 4 ohms of impedance added to the system. So
to the resistance of the longer cable.
Yeah, so it ended up changing the sound quite a bit, and measuring it, there was probably, I don't know, I want to say like 4 to 5 dB difference in bass and treble going from the amp to my desk, and every 3 feet it would add in like a decibel or so.
Yeah, geez, that's
but it sounds great. Like, other than that,
I don't know what to say about that, but okay. I mean, I guess in the most optimal...
let me mute real quick.
I guess in the most optimal setup, you would like, hear the Andromeda for as Ken Bob intended to be, but like then again, jeez, that's not a good thing for consistency's sake, and I don't think I think everybody will. Well, if they use their own cable, I think everybody will have somewhat of a different impression of it. I don't know what I want to say about the CFA stuff, but CFA's been a pretty good seller for you, right, Taron? Like the American brands, you guys carry all the big American brands, obviously CFA, 64 and EE. I know you still have a Valkyrie in stock. Have you sold that Valkyrie Mark 1 yet?
We sold plenty of Valkyrie. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But have you sold that last one yet? It's that you somehow put on sales. I wonder why. Not because there's a Mark II coming up that you can't talk about at all, right?
No, I mean the stuff we put up for sale is open box stuff. A lot of our customers haven't heard of the Mark II until I send out an email letting them know about a Mark II.
You can't talk about Mark II? Are you talking about Mark II? Are you breaking your NDA?
No, I'm acknowledging its existence, but I'm not talking about it. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's out there that versions exist. It's just not out there what's different about them. So.
Go ahead, Tyler. You want to say something?
Yeah, I want to hear more from Ant, actually. That's what I was going to say.
No, I don't want to hear more from Ant. I'll talk to him next
About what? What do you want to hear?
Ant,
my take on Empires?
I want to hear real quick. No, not Empires. I actually want to hear the Mest take from you, and then I want to hear Rush's take on the Mest.
Yeah, I want to hear Rush's take.
I want to kind of... Well, we heard it already, but I want to hear your opinion of the Mest, because you heard it before sending out to Rush, and Rush loves it. You heard it here first. He actually loves it. He wants more Mest, because
I think there's no reason to buy the Mest if you have what I have,
which is the Mest. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you already have it, why would you want to buy it?
Oh, so I can keep it? Is that what you're saying? Okay, thanks.
So
You heard it here first. That's what I have. I have the best now. He just gave it to me. Thanks, Tyler. I didn't even have you making fun of my waifu, so I have an excuse to keep it because you just gave it to me right now. So kind of
I
nice.
like-
I need another drink.
I like to hear comparisons with the U12T.
Ooh,
So-
Because
actually, real quick.
weirdly, the U12T is a headphone that I've seen a lot of descriptions for, especially of late, that I don't necessarily agree with. And
Andromeda
I like
2020
to
or...
Andromeda 2020 and the MEST.
So I'm gonna jump in real quick, Taron, just before Ant does and Rush. Rush, have you heard the U12T?
Yes, I don't like it.
What? Okay, we're ignoring the guy that's up here, and we're gonna talk. No,
Yeah, let me just delete him.
no, but so my take on it is, I think the Andromeda 2020 is a very similar, like, when I say signature, like, I don't mean like they're like 1-to-1. I'm just saying like it has a similar like profile to the U12T, like in the sense that it's easy to get along with. Not more along the lines of like it's easy to get along with and it does a lot of things right. I think the Andromeda is actually better for across genres, though. I think the Andromeda 2020 does better for like if you like a lot of things, like me, like my ADHD kicks in and I want to listen to random music. I think the Andromeda is the better one to listen to. Ant, go.
Go
Alrighty.
before I-
Oh god, I have a child coming in.
Hi.
Oh,
Let's see. There's a lot of questions. So MEST, U12T, and
Andromeda 2020.
Okay.
Alright, love you,
So
Rye.
MEST, I wrote a review on MEST like I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and for the MEST, I was super skeptical on what to think about it because
it's a fucking meme. That's what it is.
yeah, I don't really listen to Rush that often, but he does make a valid point that chi-fi typically is very hit or miss and mostly a miss, and then there's the hybrid market, which is typically hit or miss and mostly a miss. They went with like 4 different driver techs, and so super skeptical. Came in, got a loaner from Unique Melody, and totally blown away. Like it sounds like nothing else I've tried before. I think there's something going on of like the imaging and soundstage that like totally is different than anything else I've heard before. So it has a different presentation how things sound, and it doesn't, even though it sounds unique, it doesn't sound wrong. So
Yeah, I think it's a memorable headphone for sure,
Which is my type.
and
I love character.
for a lot more right reasons than wrong reasons.
yeah, and it's way more bassier than what I normally listen to. So I think when I told people I liked it, a lot of people were pretty surprised because I don't typically like a big bass emphasis, but it does more sub bass than mid bass, which really, when I say I don't like bass, I don't like a lot of mid bass. And then U12T is like the very easy to like, perfect all-arounder type IEM. It's a little boring in that sense, but if you were gonna buy one product only, if you had $2,000, that's a lot of money, but if you wanted one $2,000 product, that would be the one to buy, just because. And if you didn't know anything,
It's like the utopia of the IEM world.
yeah, at half the price. Yeah,
At half the price.
yeah, and then
Rush is dying inside.
yeah, the Android 2020 is also, I think, fits in that type of realm of like a perfect all rounder. I couldn't say that with the original one, but this one I could definitely.
Perfect
say
all
that.
arounder, as perfect as Campfire Audio can make it.
Yeah, the only issue to 2020 is the source matching, which the U12T does
just
not have a problem.
Wait for Android 2021. You heard it here first.
Andromeda, by the way.
See, Andromeda, the Andromeda. Yeah, man, that's gonna happen. I agree with Ant actually, 100% on what you just said. Sorry,
Yeah, so
I'm interrupting.
really
Ant,
quickly,
go.
the Andromeda has source matching things you have to worry about. U12T, you don't have that at all because they have the linear impedance. thing.
And then you get the modules too, which can help.
And the modules, yeah, which changed the sound quite a bit too.
And you get the ones from the brother of 64.
Fur.
FIR.
Fur. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
You
I
guys
think,
realize that I have to go build a gazebo. I'm going to tell you right now. I have to go build a gazebo after this, and I'm already like.
yeah.
The water's all gonna like go this way or something.
Well, I'm actually almost done with this one. This is about here when I started.
I mean, I think the CFA 2020 stuff. Just looking at the graph, obviously I haven't got to try it because Taron doesn't want to send it to me, so I can shit on CFA for obvious reasons because I hate everything. But I mean, it's a step in the right direction, I think, for CFA. I obviously I don't have high hopes in American companies. You know, definitely to interested to trying out their 2020 stuff when I get a chance. When this COVID shit is over, I get to start traveling again. So I get actually, yeah, you have the Solaris 2022. I'm sure.
That's going to Ant next.
Yeah, it's gonna make its way around, you know, with your show reviewers. Let's just call it that way.
Just like the IO review I had.
Yeah,
Yes.
just like the IO review. Maybe some reviewer talk. Obviously.
Wait, where's your mess
Taron-
impression? I want a full on mess impression here.
Best
well,
is the best. That's all you have to say.
You know what? I think is as much as I wanna like a little bit teaser. I know a lot of people. We'll probably have an hour discussion on it. With the rest of the boys.
We'll bring Tyler on for that.
At that point. No, but that's a. I don't need a paid show on the show. Like you get the show headphones.com right now here. But I think we'll bring the Singapore boys on and have an hour long.
But I miss talking to Korn. Not that I ever talked to him.
Yeah, you probably don't ever talk to Korn, but you know I think everybody likes it, and I'm very okay with the mess. I think I need more time with it just because I have never been sober when I've tried it. So there's that. Yeah, so like no meaningful impression for me, but I'm not on UM camp just because it's more like a Mitsubishi Subaru rivalry there with the Tri-Fi, the QVC and UM. So I feel like I have to hate the mess, which
Team Subaru.
Yeah, and
Fuji, baby.
I have a 3000 GT Mitsubishi, so there's that.
That's why he's always wrong.
But yeah.
Now it all makes sense now. I get it. I understand.
That's why you don't buy headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I buy headphones because
I'd say he's wearing one right now, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't buy headphones because for the longest time I get to travel, so there's no reason for me to bring headphones. Like it's just too much shit to carry around. So
IMs are just definitely easier to run.
Yeah, I mean you wear them on a plane, you wear them wherever on the go. Like you have them in the hotel, so it's whatever.
We gotta get you guys
like,
into earbuds like these.
Yeah, no, it's not. But no,
Those VE monks or something.
No, these are Bear Dynamics actually. I don't know if you can.
Jeez. So
No.
recently,
They're Bear Dynamics.
you so a little bit of a question on with to Taron that you guys brought on some reviewers, and obviously like Resolve has been on the team for like a very long time, and I think
Yeah.
and he does like I love Resolve because the measurements and whatnot. It's more of like a very technical, informative review for headphones.com. And you guys recently kind of like increased your reviewing staff. Like what brought on the like why are you trying to replace Resolve, man, Taron?
We're not looking to replace Resolve. Resolve
Okay.
he's the managing editor. He's in charge of. He's the head of the reviewing program, basically, is the way I would put it. But having different takes on gear is great. Especially like a good difference here is Resolve is a little more experienced than somebody like Chrono, for example. And Chrono is experienced in a lot of new gear for the first time. but they also have different head shapes as well. So coming at it from a different perspective for comfort, different perspective for sound. I think Chrono and Resolve's sound preferences align.
Are you saying
A lot of
does Resolve?
they both have larger heads than
Oh, okay.
myself.
I think if
myself.
anything, I'm the contrarian in that group.
I'm a
Yeah.
big head, Tyler.
No, I'm saying in regards to the sound profile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they have very similar preferences for sound. My preference is a little different than theirs.
I think Taron and I actually
then,
more aligned than they.
Yeah, we're probably similar in how we like our sound, but basically we want to provide the best available information that we can through those reviews, right? Which is why our process is to get every headphone up to Resolve to get measured on our new measurement system, and then from there go out to the reviewers. So at least we have the measurements to back up what the reviewers are saying, and then it's interesting to hear how people's opinions differ on headphones.
Yeah,
Important.
definitely.
That's actually important.
And fit all, especially with IEMs, because the fit on IEMs is different for everybody compared to headphones. Headphones, a lot of time you can get away with just making a bit of a larger headband, and the fit's fine on it, except for some closebacks where people in Singapore don't get proper seals on them. And for the most part, you're good there. But it's really interesting to get those different takes on headphones.
Get that out of my show, Tyler. Get that out of my show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's really interesting to get those different takes, and that's also part of the community program there too, getting people's different takes there.
It's not just limited to your headphones.com reviewers, and it's available to people who participate in the forum, you know.
And that's
does go to them first, you know.
It goes well. They obviously get priority, right? Because
obviously
they're
they
part
work for
of
you.
the
You
team,
pay them,
right?
so there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're reviewing a lot of stuff that we don't carry as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because we wanna get all those measurements in, and we want, if there is a better headphone out there, we want people to buy that better headphone that we don't carry, right? Personally, we'd rather carry the best headphones.
You things that you don't carry as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We'll buy them stuff off of Amazon to review if we don't carry it, and then we'll keep that for reference for later on as well. Like the K371 review that Chrono recently did, we bought that off Amazon and sent it to them, and then now that's part of our permanent headphone collection. So
yeah, can't wait for you to drop $2,000 on a QDC VX and have somebody review that.
We'll just wait for Ant's measurements, really, which we already have. So
he sold this already.
Maybe I'll buy it again. Maybe.
I mean, the nice thing about people being part of Discourse too is sometimes people will send us their own headphones as well. Yeah. So we don't have to go out of pocket.
Speaking of which,
your Dunu's up on my TV stand right beside those letters there. So.
I do want to hear those, by the way. And all the hype behind the Dunu's and the B2s. I want to hear these hyped ass.
Yeah.
The Dunu's are nice. I can't say that they compete with like the $1,000 IEMs, but I think they're I think they're good. The B2s. Yeah. B2s I haven't listened to, but they look gigantic. They look huge.
Karen, that's not how it works. That's not how you do Chi-Fi. So obviously you have a very little experience in marketing Chi-Fi. What are you supposed to say?
You need a pillow, Taron. You need a pillow to hold when you insert them in your ears, and you hold the pillow at the same time, and then it's just magic. It's when it happens.
You're supposed to talk about synergy. How your dicks are just like a certain reviewer that we will never name on that.
Damn it!
I know.
I did not wear that shirt.
I know I'm supposed to say it punches 4 times above its price point and all that stuff, but
it's actually better than Yoden. I heard.
I do think the Dunu 3001 is a great headphone. I don't think that it's an Andromeda or a Solaris or any of that stuff. I just think it's a great headphone. I just don't think that it's there. So.
Well, I don't
That's
think you're not gonna carry Dunu ever again with that sound.
The
Actually, Tom,
the audio.
The audio. Yeah.
Ant. That one, I thought that was pretty good for the one you let me borrow. Ant. I was impressed with that for being as cheap as it is. Booze.
Yeah, you gotta wait till the new ones come to the US, and you'll probably be more impressed.
Yeah. Dunu as a company is actually a company that I'm pretty excited to work with because Tom is great. He's really passionate about this stuff, and he really seems like he cares about community feedback, which I really like to see in companies. And he's also young and active in the communities, which you don't often see from headphone brands. So a lot of brands will just sponsor Headphi and say that they're active in the community.
Yeah, and that's
so are you guys carrying
community is really key.
Are we gonna carry Dina?
Yeah.
We are planning to carry Dina.
Am I going to see Luna?
Spoiler alert!
Soon on the online store. With their
you will see the Luna on headphones.com. Yes.
So the 1.5 Boomer IEM that they designed for the Chinese market.
Can we get the custom waifu faceplates for some of these?
For Blessing Twos? No.
I mean, like you haven't like Blessing Two's been so long in your store, obviously. I mean, like how are you? How is it hard to get those Tri-Fi in? Like to get Blessing like Moondrop in the States? Because obviously like for Tri-Fi you have to compete with their like domestic international sellers. Let's just call it that.
I mean, a lot of times it's hard to get anything anywhere, right? But the prices in China differ from Canada or the US.
No, yeah, obviously.
But even for North American brands, you compete with people that drop the price, right? The difficult part is getting any of those companies to speak to you. Like obviously we don't have anybody that works for us that speaks Mandarin or Cantonese at this time. So a lot of times it's just more so a translation issue where they go through a different North American distribution because they have people that will speak English and do it. And other times people just don't want to ship to North America themselves. They'd rather go through a distribution network, right?
Right.
Because they deal with enough stuff themselves. So it's one of those things where if we could, we'd carry a lot of different brands. It's just really hard to get in touch with any of those brands. Which is where the AD Discourse comes in handy because they hook us up with all of the brands. So.
Of course, I'll just make a phone call to QDC right now, and you'll have them on your shelf tomorrow.
Yeah.
That would be nice, actually.
I think a lot of the times where I talk to you just mostly when it comes to like distribution in the States and versus the ones in China, it's just that I don't know like if that's the question that you can answer me. Obviously, NDA is not a thing that you don't have the word NDA in China. Just because if you're good enough buddy with a distributor, they'll tell you anything because they don't care. Because like they can't do anything to the Chinese distributors just because they're so big. Like you use the word too big to fail. And obviously,
well, I mean, they're
do whatever they want because like what like they know about the Elden. Like again, the Chinese community know about the Elden and all the Mark IIs like way advanced.
They're a bit like Amazon in that sense.
Yeah.
Where they move, they move so many boxes that even if it damages the brand, they don't care because the people they're dealing with are people that are trying to meet quarterly goals, right?
Exactly.
The brand itself might get pissed off, but a lot of that goes through salespeople who are trying to meet targets.
Mm-hmm.
And Amazon, those companies, they meet those targets for them, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing if a company sells a drop, right? they're meeting those targets. That's what they're looking to meet. They're not looking to grow the brand. They're not looking to grow their dealer network. They're just looking to meet sales targets. So.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like rough on you guys, that you are really like relatively small comparatively. Like, you know, like what is a distributor, like what is E going to say that, oh, you leaked our Mark IIs, and then the Chinese dealer just say, oh, I just got about pre-orders about 75 of most of your Mark IIs, like, and then they go like, oh wow, all is good then. I'm so glad you leaked that product because that really drive our sales. You know, and you guys like can't. It's you know, it's kind of like a shitty part on you guys that it's kind of hard to, you know, compete with you know, the bigger markets.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, we're not really competing with the Asian market because for most companies, we can't sell into Asia, right? We're only selling it.
Oh, but they can sell it to you.
Canada.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, so I will say that E has handled the launch really well, and that they have enough product for North America. A lot of the times, what happens is you'll place pre-orders and get them a month after a product's launched, especially if a company sells direct, because they'll sell their stuff direct before they give you stock. Yeah. And then your pre-orders get canceled and reordered with that company. But I will say with this, like, yeah, it sucks that some stuff got leaked, but it's not like it got leaked and then launched a week later. It got leaked and nobody actually knows what's happening. So there's still plenty of time for production, all of that stuff to keep up with everything.
I mean, in a way that I feel like the Chinese market is definitely like a testing ground for how well it will do in the greater market.
There's that, but you keep saying the Chinese market, but the Japanese market is huge for IEMs. Huge.
Yeah, but they have. You see, the problem is that they have that markup. They have the Japanese markup when it comes to that.
But they can afford that markup.
Yeah, of course, because of the standard of living, just kind of like in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it like? Obviously, you're getting the Odin soon, and people already got them elsewhere. Is that affecting your business at all, or no? Usually not. Like, cause like
no. So the thing with the Odin is we're getting our demo on Wednesday, but the actual launch date for the Odin for shipping is September 1st. So even if we get our units next week, if we get all of our if we get all of our Odin units next week, dealers across the board aren't supposed to ship until September 1st. Now,
yeah, obviously that's not a thing in China, so I'll tell you that much.
They already got them, right? They're already.
I mean, they may have already sent them out, but like we can't do anything about China, right?
Right, obviously.
Basically, what happens a lot of times for these launches, right? Like say a company on the East Coast launches a product, we're on the West Coast, right? So to launch to a dealer on the East Coast, it takes 1 day to ship to them, right? But for us, if they ship it ground, it takes 7 days. So all of a sudden, this dealer on the East Coast, they've got 100 units of something in stock and ready to ship. We've got all these pre-orders on the West Coast, but our product's not coming in for 6 days. So our customers cancel and they order with that dealer on the East Coast. So what Empire Ears is doing is saying, even if you get the stock in advance, you're not shipping until September 1st. Yeah, which is fair. It's fair across the board because then nobody gets screwed, right?
And and not that it matters to you because it sounds like hotcakes. I would imagine for Odin that you probably
especially
wouldn't have
with the hot takes from Korn and Kren. C squared.
I like how Tyler brought it up. How do you see decrease in sales or a high rate of returns from bad reviews? Just because you have such a great return policy?
So here's the thing. Our customer base largely isn't part of HeadFi or part of that crowd, right? A lot of our crowd is the lifestyle crowd, And so a bad review isn't going to affect it that much.
And
However, we have
autofocus.
sold stuff where people are perfectly happy with it. 3 months later, a review comes out and they're like, "Oh, I noticed like a slight channel imbalance here, right?" And then we get a customer that emails us and be like, "Hey, I think my headphones developed a slight channel imbalance." And then you get them back and there's nothing there. But because they read it, that's what they think's happened, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the Focal driver clip-in, that one post on Head5 where they said our drivers will clip at a certain decibel. People took that as our headphones
Clip.
clip intentionally at any decibel, and if it clips on one side, that's just part of our headphone design. But no, that means that you have a defective headphone. You can send it back for warranty. It's just if you're driving Focal headphones like 105 dB and you're playing some Skrillex, your headphones are gonna clip. Like, that's just the way it is, right? And you know, we get people who do test tones and that kind of stuff, and like, "Oh, I tested these at 110 dB and they seem defective." But once those things are online and in text, people read it and just take it as something that it's not, right? Same thing with reviews. If somebody's perfectly happy with it, you see it on certain forums that like cycle through stuff really fast, where they buy a pair of headphones and like, "I'm really happy with my headphones, but are they bad?" And then people are like, "Well, why do you care if people think your headphones are bad?" Right?
Yeah. If you enjoy them, who cares what anybody else thinks? At the end of
But
the day, people.
that's part of the buying experience. Like, people want
Confirmation bias is a beast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you know, I think when you have reviewers that that their words somehow holds a certain weight within the community.
That's dangerous.
So the interesting thing with reviewers too, that we knew of but hadn't seen a ton of, is especially with headphones. Like, there's a couple other hobbies that are like headphones, but headphone people get so pissed off if you don't hold their headphones in a high regard. Like, reviewers will get death threats. They will get 0 out of 10s on Head5.
I got a 1 out of 10
they will
review
get
last week, by the way.
Yeah.
Ant's now a 1 out of 10 reviewer, you know?
And it's so weird because, like, especially with certain brands, like, there's just this community built up that if you go against that grain, they get so many messages. And like we saw it with Torque, we see it with Resolve, we'll probably see it with Chrono.
Not with me, because I don't do reviews.
Definitely with
Dog. I mean, the other thing that who's gonna threaten a 350-pound former ex-military man who can probably snap me. This is why I'm nice to Tyler, by the way, because he's literally twice the man I am. You don't see
Tyler would show up to your door with a Nintendo Switch and ask if you want a game.
Let's fight it out, Street Fighter style.
Tyler should be your new customer service rep. He will service some customer. Yeah. He will service some customer for you. So yeah, if you want to make a Reddit post on headphones.com on how bad they are, you will see a very big tattooed man doorstep. Taron will send Tyler on your ass. But no, I think yeah, and that's not the majority of your market. So I think that's. But I mean, dude, this hobby is. How about this? I feel like the whiskey hobby is way better, but like you have a lot of snobs when it comes to whiskey. But I think everybody's a lot happier when it comes to hobby because everybody's drunk all the time. So like, you can't really be a dick.
Well, I mean, there's still some serious dicks in the whiskey hobby.
Well, yeah, but like the audio thing is just.
I drink whiskey. I don't talk about whiskey, but I feel like headphones are a lot like gaming or keyboards in terms of how passionate their community is about it. You know, consoles are the same thing of like planners versus dynamics versus SR1As. You know,
SR1As win.
And it's just like it like I understand that people spend a lot of money on this gear, and it sucks when somebody says your headphone sucks. But
Yeah.
if you genuinely like your headphones, who gives a shit what somebody else says, right?
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
if somebody comes out and says I tried ZMFs and they were boring, then
I would come to their house and
Then you're
I'm
wrong.
joking.
yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's about 350 pounds come up to your house and beat the shit out of you with a bear.
I'm
Exactly.
I'm
But
like 230, dude.
like
240
honestly, if you watch our live stream, when somebody comes out with a different opinion, there's 5 other that come in and like, no, you're wrong, right? And it's like that's their opinion. Like I like the Audio Quest Night Owl. 95% of
Cool.
people hate the Audio Quest Night Owl, right?
I
And
like
I
the
don't
Cascade for crying
actually,
out loud.
You're not allowed to
You
like
guys
that.
are
I don't know
wrong.
why.
yeah, and like I don't really care, and it's part of the reason why I respect the people who write reviews and impressions so much, because you're putting yourself on paper and you're putting a lot of your opinions on paper out there for the public to see, and a lot of the public isn't going to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain subsets of this community that are just so toxic and shitty
But not
that
headphones.com,
it's.
right? Everybody on headphones.com forum is lovely, decent.
Oh,
No, they're
I'm
not.
sure.
Nice people, just
I can
nice
tell you as a mod that they are not.
I'm sure there are not. I'm sure there are bad people there
Tyler is
because.
a community manager, and he's pretty heavy-handed in terms of
No, man, I am not heavy.
management, as you would say.
I mean, when you look at this community, it's a very incestuous community where like Headfi, SBAF, ASR, Reddit, our community, they all have so much crossover, right?
Mm-hmm.
You recognize all the same people talking about the same stuff across the communities, and that's the way that this hobby works. And the same passion that carries over for one brand will carry over into another forum and another forum and another forum until those people eventually move on to a different one. And it's just the way that things are in this hobby. So.
Well, you know what? I think the community is fucking cancer. That's why I don't like to talk to people that I don't like to talk to, because it's just like, you know. I mean, like.
Wouldn't you say Discourse
That says a
the
lot
same way though?
because
He actually deleted himself from all the
Rush
private
Rush
servers.
doesn't like a lot of people, yet we're here and he likes talking to us.
He's only on
I love
private
you too,
servers
man.
now.
No, like it's fucking ridiculous that, you know, at the same time, like those people that read reviews want to be like validated, and then it's just like it's stupid, because at the same time, you know, your opinion is your opinion. So if you somehow, it's like if you hate somebody who thinks differently about your headphones just because, you know, you like them and somebody else hate them, that means that you don't take your own opinion, like, you know, somehow that you're putting the other person's opinion above yours, which is like fucking ridiculous, because when it comes to, you know, headphones or like hearing or taste or anything like that, it's very like, you know, personal preference. So like, why should you let anybody else to tell you what they,
because confirmation bias is real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's
it's
called confirmation bias for a reason, right?
Yeah, but it's the same thing as like when somebody's super stoked about their new Input DX or whatever they bought, right?
Or
And
even
they
look at the
post
Xbox
they post
versus
it.
PS PlayStation, right? Like,
Well, like they posted on an online forum, and everybody's like, "Oh, that fucking sucks. Get an AKG K371 instead," or
why are you dumb for buying that? And
Like, you know, it's like this probably like 15-year-old just got a present from their parents, and they're so excited about their new headphones.
Excited.
And you're shitting on them and telling them to get a new pair of headphones that they don't even care about just because it's Harman tuned, right?
That's part of the fun. That's literally my job. You literally just describe my job. People let me know, that's fucking awful. You should never buy that. You should feel
like
that's literally the only thing I tell
you. You just ruined some new kid into the hobby, a new kid into the world's like opinion, right? Like they're gonna be like, oh, I don't like this. Maybe I shouldn't care about headphones. And it's like, no, don't do that, man. Like that, you gotta be gentle with these people.
No, there's a barrier to entry for this hobby, and if you don't like what I like, then you're wrong.
You need 30 spankings before you can join the audiophile community.
I think at the same time, people like you have personalities in this hobby, like reviewers, you know, whatever they like, what they like, and you know.
Yeah.
And you
find the reviewer that fits your profile. That's my opinion of it.
Oh, you know what? This Tyler, you'll never hear me say this again. I do like you, Tyler, and I love your voice and not your opinions, because your opinions are absolutely garbage, by the way. The only reason I watch your show because your voice is lovely, and Dex is a very very nice person.
Dex is a nice dude, man.
I cannot agree with whatever comes out of your mouth. Like, that's just no. Yeah, too happy for my taste.
This is the airing of grievances.
I like
in
to be
real life.
sad.
Oh, I mean, not sad, but I would say angry. I think.
I'm just that's fair. But that's your preference, man. At the same time, that's cool, man. You do you, brother. You know, like at the same, like just like I.
Why can't you just be angry? Why can't you just be angry for a second?
I mean, one of the great things about
I don't know.
Hey, he's the Hulk.
one of the great things about Tyler is you can tell he just genuinely enjoys his hobby. Like every time he gets a piece of new gear, he's so excited about it and posting all over about it. And even if it turns out to be crap, he's just so excited to be getting that crap, right? So
Except for the Imperium.
Not that these are crap, but like, no.
I've never met a person who enjoyed eating shit so much that he really just enjoyed every piece of shit I sent him, such as the CFA Solaris 2020.
Dude, so like,
No, you
so,
mean like
well,
the-
here's the
you mean the
races.
Con Cube.
If you want to say, like, to me, like, so these ones.
Oh
actually,
god, those are so.
Oh,
Okay.
look at that. Look
you
at
guys
the
carrying
design,
around
though.
that?
It looks so sexy. Like this, I want to say cyberpunk. Like this is
it
sexy.
looks
The
like the
design,
Tesla Cybertruck, yeah.
Yeah, like the design is so nice. And honestly, the first two tracks I heard, and then by the way, the cable. Oh, look at that! Like the cable is sexy, and it's nice feeling, and it feels nice, and it fit in my ear really good. And the first two tracks I heard were fantastic, and then I heard 4 more tracks, and my ears hurt. But at the same time, like they're good for what they are, I guess. You know.
No, they're not good for anything. Obviously that's a demo unit that Taron sent to you that you guys
That's a retail unit.
Retail unit.
Yeah.
But like,
all of your demos are retail.
and so like I will say like the unboxing was spectacular, fantastic.
Are we gonna have an
and
unboxing video?
experience?
Are we gonna have
And,
an
like-
Get to the sound, Tyler. Get to the sound. There's no.
So
there's no
the first two
reversing
tracks I
the
listened to
mic.
were not
No.
treble heavy tracks, so I was like, oh, these are fantastic. Like
One
wow.
person in their right mind should buy the AA1000 because it's fucking garbage.
And then I heard
Well,
some treble heavy tracks, so they were definitely peaky. They're
I
definitely.
mean, here's the thing. Outside of the D8000 and D8000 Pro, a lot of the final audio tuning and headphones aren't marketed towards North Americans.
No.
North Americans,
Something that you-
North Americans, all that shiny, like the Sonoris X is gold-plated, shiny, whatever. You're not going to catch a lot of people wearing those headphones. Even though the Sonorises, they're silver and shiny and closed
These are
back. And
sexy.
like, closed
I'm
back
sorry.
headphones.
These are
Closed back
sexy.
headphones you should be wearing outside, and you can't wear those Sonoris outside, right? And that largely shows what market they're catering to, and it's not really a North American market, and it's why Final Audio doesn't have a huge North American presence.
Yeah.
I will say though, like they have fantastic design, like, and then these cables, like they are really nice. Like
The
they're clean.
D8000 and D8000 Pro are great headphones, but I mean, when you have a company that only makes closed-back dynamic headphones, and then they all of a sudden make a $4,000 planar magnetic open-back headphone, it's really hard to get people on board with that. So, but it's also
I haven't
when it
heard
resolves.
I heard it at the demo. I think in
They
December,
are
but
they are very weeby. Let's just say not for the American palate. Yeah, I demoed them in hot seller in Japan, by the way, which is obviously
I can see
Yeah.
why. I mean, they're fantastic. I mean, if you can get past the, I listened to a bunch of treble peaky stuff though. So like to me, like once I got into the treble peaky stuff, like Ant can attest to this. Like I was like, oh, these are fantastic.
Yeah, I
What,
was like,
why is
really?
it like? And I don't know anything about IEMs. I didn't know anything about going into these. I listened to them blind. Like I had no idea. And I was like, oh, these are fantastic. I listened to like Yoshi Horikawa, a bunch of his tracks, and then I listened to a very mellow Jesse Ware track, and I was like, these are great. And then I heard, and then from there, it like went random on me on Qobuz, and I was like, oh, ow.
I think you said
And
you
there's
had
some-
tinnitus after you listened to him.
Yeah, and then I did. My tinnitus did get triggered. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. My tinnitus did get triggered after 4 tracks with these. So that was
that's one of those things I find with IEMs too, when they shove Beryllium drivers or they shove Electrets in the driver. Like I haven't heard one Electret headphone that I really enjoyed before for IEMs.
Well, it's Wednesday when you get your Odin, and apparently.
Yeah, well, the Odin is supposed to be really good. Like,
those things are massive, dude.
There was a 50-50 chance for the Odin, but with IEMs you deal with two things: you deal with sound, and then you deal with fit, right?
Yeah.
And the Odins look massive.
They're massive.
The Odins, so ironically, audiophiles have giant heads but little ears.
It's so true.
Funny enough, I have small heads with giant ears.
Like the Solaris fit nobody, but then the headphone fit nobody either. So
I just think you have way too many. Not to call out on your racial biases, that you have way too many white people on your team that you like, because I think.
Wait. You do. I mean, Resolve is. I think
he is as pale as my background. There you go. I'll say it. I mean, no, but like, I mean, like Anthony's definitely like a odd one out. Somehow he has tiny ears, but like I don't think I've met any like Asians with like small ears, because like my ears are giant, and I have small heads. That's what I think.
Yeah, my wife's Filipino and she's got little ears, so.
Yeah, my Filipino also.
That's definitely not in the IEM.
Taron and I brothers.
Yeah, you guys are definitely not
those sexy purple things.
Target market for IEM, because you guys are with the earlets. But
I have a problem with IEMs. IEMs hurt my ears, like physically. They'll hurt my ears after a period of time.
So I've got big ears and a narrow head. So the headphone, for example, everybody was complaining about the size for that, and I didn't have to extend the headphone at all.
I did one
and
notch
whereas
for the headphone for me.
the Solaris, the OG Solaris, I had no issues with that, wearing that 8 hours a day.
Man,
OG Solaris was fantastic for me as well, except for me, even with it over the ear, like
cable,
it would slowly start to pull. Yeah, it would pull out of my ear.
Yeah, the cable is way too big. The new Smoky Blitz cables, those are lightweight and fit perfect. I threw those on the OG Solaris, and that was great. But that's a different story. So.
Talk to me about a little bit of preference in terms of the state versus because like you guys carry Final and you guys carry like Audio Technica, and obviously those things don't really they're not really made for the US market. So
especially the high end. Well, no, the high end Audio Technica is not made for the US market. It's very much so made for the lead market. That's why Rush keeps trying to get a 5,000 knocks off of us.
He wants that.
No, because it's like, okay. Personal question: it's out of stock in your store right now. Are you gonna get more, or is it hard to sell? Like, do a company obviously requires you to have a certain amount of stock? I don't know how that deals.
They don't. For most companies, we're not required to carry a bunch of stock.
Okay.
But
it's annoying for the customer though, right? It's annoying for the customer because you don't have it in stock. So
it is, but I mean, if we don't have it in stock, there's generally an option to order from somebody else, right?
Yeah, but let's say I like you more than most people.
But the ADX 5000 is already a tough sell because the clear Aria HD 800S and headphone all fill that need.
Except they're actually objectively worse headphones.
What?
Objectively, from somebody who only listens to anime OSTs, or from...
Did you just? Are you sure you're Canadian? Jeez, that was a hard burn right there. What makes you think I only listen to those?
Oh, let burn.
You're burn.
Yeah, I just got more burn from kilos than my whiskey. Jeez, what makes you think I only listen to anime OSTs?
I don't know, Rush. Tell us.
Why you ever think that? Why would you ever think that? Wow. My waifu is shocked that you said that.
I honestly think that the ADX 5000 was more price competitive with the clear Aria and HD 800S. It would sell more units, but at $2,000, when it's essentially the same headphone with a brighter tune-in, it's a little bit of a harder sell.
Did you just did you just?
Shh. I like the Aria.
No.
Anyway.
Okay, so first of all, this is when you're wrong.
See, I haven't heard the Arya, but I have heard the Ananda, and I will say that Hi-Fi in general tends to be a little too sharp.
I will have to bring you the Aria next week.
Tyler, are we gonna have that Hi-Fi chat tomorrow? So I can.
Don't make me get the Fang Beyond freaking GIF out.
Fucking Tri-Fi man, dude. Like it's so first of all, please don't compare the best headphone ever made in the Greater Nipponese Lane of the Sun Weeaboo headphones to your disgusting French 30 French headphones that have driver issues and your
ZMF is life. How about that?
Yeah, no, like I think you're right in the sense that it's definitely not a tuning for Americans and definitely a tough sell. I think I was surprised that somehow you have the ADX 5K.
Well, most people haven't even heard of it, right?
Sure.
And you know what?
It's a cool looking headphone too, though. Like the ADX 5000 is a cool looking headphone.
Okay, so how about this? I have compared them, and I love the ADX 5K because I am obviously biased. I'm on the AT camp. I would take it over.
Hi, Taron wife.
I would take it over to Utopia. How about that? Because I would take it over all of the Focal lineup.
I would take a lot over the Utopia, though, man. Like that's not a fair comparison.
I would take it over to Aria, and I haven't heard the headphone yet, but I would take it over to Aria because it's special.
Ooh,
but if you like that kind of sound signature, then it's for you. And again, as Taron said, it's really not.
It's really about the personal preference.
The bass roll off is not. Again, first of all, I don't want to get into that driver thing. It's 300 ohms, so if you got a shit amp, then
pay.
Too bad, man. Like it doesn't sound good on your shitty amp, then whatever. But I don't think
I can't drive it off my iPhone. Why are you dick?
I can understand why it's a tough sell, and
well,
are you guys gonna carry it? Like I mean, like again, personal.
Oh, Ant coming out with the legit real engine right here.
I like to eye it on your store, and
This is high class.
The price point's a tough sell.
Oh, and
obviously,
just that price region, right? Because it's like you've got Mastrop covering the lower end of the market up until $600, and then you've got the clear LCDX, Aria, and HD 800S dominating that mid-range of the market, and then really the LCD3, ADX 5000 headphone, those kind of things are kind of left in the dust because you jump to flagships after those prices for the most part, to LCD4, Utopia, Sosvara, that kind of thing, right?
Just ignore the Odyssey for a second, because if you don't like the Odyssey house sound, then you don't like the Odyssey house sound. That's all I will say about that.
Yeah, it's true. But Odyssey acknowledges that and has their own EQ system in place for that, for their driver deficiencies, which is something that most companies wouldn't be willing to do. They would just say that their tuning is right, which is really good on their part.
And for the most part, Fostech, which we don't carry, and ADX 5K, which you don't sell, it is their tuning, and if you like that kind of sound, really you shouldn't buy it. And I think, unfortunately, that's how the Japanese do things. So, yeah, definitely a tough sell for you. I think, like at $2,000 MSRP, you are competing against like a lot of, just maybe cheaper and better options, as the pleb would like to think. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I still would love an ADX 5K because I have the old flagship.
If we had a Japanese store, we would sell plenty of ADX 5K.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you will. Yeah, as the.
I mean, I will say like the ADXs are pretty sexy looking, and then they're in anime, so they're nice looking.
Yeah, whatever you want to say. No, it's not tuned for the American general public.
Just it has that brighter Japanese tuning.
So why do you carry them? How about that? Well, that's my question.
Because it's the same reason why we carry other headphones, because people like them, right?
Mm-hmm. It's based on the community and what people actually review, right? Like they think that it's catered towards what people actually want rather than what you're trying to.
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
but people don't want it. But people don't like, how like aside from me, which I obviously don't have the, like if you were giving me a free ADX 5K after the show, I would, I would definitely buy one from headphones.com. But aside from me, how many people actually express interest in those Weeaboo headphones? Like, I'm actually curious because
I mean, we do like I said, there's 350 million people in the U.S. So there's a pretty diverse cast of people in the U.S. that are interested in those kinds of headphones.
Surprising, a large amount of them are way into the anime stuff too.
Yeah.
Not that's a bad thing. I mean, I love anime too. I mean, I'm a pop culture myself, but.
Question, Tyler, with the community manager stuff. Recently, you just made the IEM section on the forum.
And killing it.
Android made that.
Yeah, I bugged him about it, so I was like, why is not an anime, like not an IEM, like a section on the
specifically for anime? You want an anime thread?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm going on. When are you gonna have a Weeaboo section on the forum so I can actually post my first comment?
Is it gonna have? I mean, we might have to make it because then we have to go like the whole 18 and over NSFW.
No. It's all wholesome shit. Just you gotta break it.
Is it?
In order for you to Taron, I'm pitching this to you. This is like a Shark Tank thing now. I'm giving you. I only give you bad marketing advice. So in order to appeal to the Weeaboo market, I think I should be on your team to only review Weeaboo stuff like the ADX 5K. This is why you should send me an ADX 5K free, by the way.
If it's in an anime, send it to Rush.
Yeah. I'll be happy to review your ADX 5K, your A1000, and your what else is the fucking anime? I don't even fucking know. This is a great one.
The Neon Evangelist final audio. True
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I do want those TWSs from the Neon Evangelist.
I think
I like how you just say Neon Evangelist.
Yeah.
So sexy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think I publicly said in the AD Discord that.
Are you gonna carry that?
It's I mean, it's going to come to North America like 4 or 5 months after it comes out in Asia.
Well, I mean, like they can't get it. Like if you're in the States and you want a pair of those, you either have to pay like ridiculous import fees from a courier, from, like a third party seller, or
I mean, we might carry a couple, but like that's not our huge market, right? Like I even said in Anthony's Discord, or the Audio Discourse Discord. When you post Loop stuff on the forum, you get automatically IP banned. So
is that yeah? And that's why I don't post. I don't post anything on there.
That's why you don't. That's why you don't have an account there.
Yeah, I actually have an account there.
There's a lot of those exclusives and stuff where we could carry them. It's just how many do you buy? How many are actually going to buy in North America? And
that's because you don't have a market starting. You don't have a. That's because you already banned all the weeaboos from your forum, so you don't know if there's any weeaboo in their forum. So if you have a dedicated like a safe spot for them, you can see how many people are involved.
Safe word.
Involved in the weeaboo community. So this is how you know I'm getting way too drunk. So
he starts going deep weeaboo.
Yeah.
We sent them to Alan from the Source AB.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he needs to flip his own forum.
See,
hey, we're running
Rush's pillow is
going
to come in soon. Yeah. No. We got 2 and we're almost
unfortunately,
3 hours
I need to go soon. So
I need to go build a gazebo drunk now. So it's gonna be amazing.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
We'll take. How about this? We'll take 2 questions.
Yeah, 2 questions.
From the audience want to ask 2 questions. Whoever gets to ask them first. But
I have a question, and it's just for Rush, only for Rush, because we've heard this from the other 2 already. What is your guilty pleasure headphone, or IEM?
Tell me more, Rush.
My guilty headphones is the one that Taron's gonna send me for free at the end of the show. My ADX.
That's not your guilty pleasure. That's your dream headphone.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
my
fair.
dream because it's my dream will be completed after this. My preferred shipment is DHL. Please get it to me within 2 days. I know it's kind of rough right now with the shipping.
Okay,
from
so
Canada.
beyond that one, what is your current guilty pleasure? IEM or
Rest.
headphone?
I don't listen to headphones.
IEM. Nest,
They're all
the
right.
best.
How about if you're in the hobbies for so long, it's hard to be like impressed. Like it's whatever.
Guilty pleasure. What's something you just generally use on a regular basis?
Nothing. I'm okay with everything. It's hard to hate. It's hard to hate. I don't like a lot of things and I don't hate a lot of things. I mean I hate a lot of things. I don't like a lot of things. Sorry, let me change that. Like nothing is impressive anymore. Like when you hear so many things, like nothing is impressive anymore. And I mean like I don't want to go too deep in this. That's my main gripe with the audiophile community, that everything have to be made out to be so great. But go ahead. No, not about me.
Okay, so if real quick, Hi-Fi-Man R10, the new one.
Oh boy.
Which are we gonna buy? This? Any of us?
I mean, I see the question, and I'm gonna say probably me, just because we're gonna buy one of the
It's
demo unit.
required, but
Are you going to have the R10s? Are you? Obviously, you made a stream about that. So, can you talk about when will that be available in the U.S. or no?
Well, we don't have any details on it. Fang's
nobody
stream
does.
was the announcement. So,
yeah.
Okay.
But a $5,500 closeback is a tough sell
Plain old.
already before everything else. So,
I mean, you mean the $5,500 bootleg of the old Sony headphones? Obviously, a tough sell.
Well,
I mean,
to be fair, the Planar is unique. The Planar is unique. The $5,500 one is
the
unique,
Planar is unique, but if we're gonna let Monolith get away with all of their ripoffs, Hi-Fi-Man can get away with one ripoff.
One.
And Samsung.
Taron, I know you carry headphones.com, but just because somebody else commit better doesn't mean you should be able to. That's I don't know if Tyler will have me on his show tomorrow, because I'm definitely not a very happy man when I talk about Tri-Fi-Man. Is that
That's up to Dex, my man. That's up to Dex. I'm a co-host. Remember, it's the Dex and Tyler show.
Tyler also hates
yeah.
so it's okay.
It doesn't really matter. So I'll get my shit out of here right now. Is that I like to make that joke that business ethic is not a word in Mandarin, so you don't really have.
I mean, that's fair.
I think they could have done the announcement a lot better than how they handled it. And
I'm intrigued. How about that?
There are a lot of ways, but I mean, the pricing structure is just really tough. So it's
Hey,
it's just.
What? For all you know, it might be great. It might be great, but the thing is that they already have that black stain.
I mean, it might be great, but it's still not. It's still not going to be a closed back Sosvara, which is what people
were expecting and wanting.
Okay, but first we'll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the dynamic might be
Sosvara isn't a great
awesome.
headphone to begin with, so you don't want to close back Sosvara.
That's
And-
Well, you're
true.
you're shitting on Resolve there too, because that's his favorite headphone. So
Yeah, you know what? When it comes to you want to spend $6,000 for mediocrity, but then be my guest. That's all right. All the power to you. I mean, obviously I don't work for Headphones.com, so I don't make the big bucks for Headphones.com. So I can only afford cheapo headphones like ADX5K. But to spend $6,000 on mediocrity, that's just me. Without a personality or anything like that. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm not judging.
if you could afford the ADX 5K, they'd be on your head right now.
Ouch, breaks my heart. You know what? If I can afford an ADX 5K, I wouldn't be begging you for one. There's that. No, I mean, I think I like the Suspara, and obviously how much of those headphones that you sell. So like people are definitely in the market for this $5,000 to $6,000 thing.
The flagship market's a completely different market than any
Yeah,
other
it's different
market.
beast.
Correct. All right, but it's been way too long. This will be the first and last time I ever have Taron on. I'm sure that I'm not getting my free headphones for the sound of it, which is unfortunate. So we'll see what happens. I just burned all my bridges today. Thanks for being on for the headphones.com guys. And I don't know what will happen tomorrow for Tyler and Dex. If I hope Dex didn't watch this live stream, so I'll probably give him.
I think he's busy listening to SR1A and some other high end stuff right now. So
Yeah,
blown away.
I just don't know why you want to give him your put him through that torture if you say whatever. Yeah. Thank you for being on.
We'll know where you stand when I get invited and you don't. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Because Anthony is a nicer co-host. Maybe we'll have you on again whenever you bring that the demo unit tour to when that's actually going on. Maybe you can talk about that again because I'm actually very you're doing a pretty good service for the North American community. Let the plebs try things that they don't usually get to try, which is lovely. But obviously bad for business. But you're doing what you love, so help the plebs out. Thanks, Taron. We got you and nobody else. You are the headphone seller that we need, but not the one that we deserve. Thank you, Bat.
True story.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, there you go.
I will Christopher Nolan your stream anytime.
Yeah, thank you. I think we wanna call the drunk stream to an end. So
yeah, I need to go build a drunk gazebo now. Hopefully I don't fuck it up.
All right, bye everyone.
See you guys.
Cheers, guys.